Alright, it's time for the SpoilerCast you guys all been waiting for. Persona 5. All my confidants are here. Taylor Hoyt.
Hey, hey.
Maddie Lind.
Emoji face.
And Ben Moore.
Hi.
What's up? I'm excited to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I've been holding it in because Maddie didn't beat it until
Man, the last month of my life has been insane. Just because of Persona 5.
Also, it's a very long game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a game you can bust out in a weekend. It takes a while to get through.
Takes a month.
Took a week.
Sorry.
God. No, I'm just joking. But all of us broke 100 except for someone here.
Yep. I don't know how you guys did it. I very intently tried to take my time, as the game says, but...
Every loading screen.
Only got 93 hours in. I don't know what to say.
You did get past Shido's palace pretty fast. I remember I was like, okay, take it slow. Stop at the 4th VIP, like an hour, and then an hour later, you're like, okay, I'm at the 3rd VIP. What am I supposed to do? I'm like, whoa, wow.
Well, it was just so annoying. I didn't like that part. So
the VIP area.
Yeah,
just finding the VIPs.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's explain before people. I just spoiled a big thing. We're doing a spoiler cast. We're going to be spoiling pretty much all of Persona 5. We're not going to hold any bars for Persona 4 or Persona 3. So
holding nothing back.
If you guys haven't played that, watch out. We're not going to try to spoil it, but we're not going to hold back because we're going to compare.
We're not going to try to spoil it, but we're going to spoil it.
Yeah. You dies at the end,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What?
Only people who know the anime would get that name or played Persona 4 Arena.
Or Dancing All Night.
Oh, yeah. I always thought that was a pun. It's supposed to be like you.
You, oh, yeah.
But it's not. It's an actual real name. And how did you find the name Akira?
Akira Kurusu is Joker's real manga name.
There's already a manga?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. That's interesting.
So I played my whole game as Akira Kurusu. That is Joker. I might call him Akira by accident. That is who I'm talking about. I'll only call him Akira a Joker.
All right.
Just so people know.
I'm just going to call him Joker because he's Nick in my game.
Yeah. At least there's something to call him besides the protagonist or the main character.
Joker.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, guys. Winter 2014 has finally come.
Finally. It's only been 5 years.
Okay, about that, was that really the release date, or was that the date they're going to show gameplay?
No. That was... I went back and listened to a podcast that I recorded the night that happened, actually, and it was the Japan... That was the Japan release date. That was when they did that, that was when they unveiled Arena 2, Persona Q, and Dancing All Night, and then they had that little teaser trailer, and it said, at the end, Winter 2014.
And we didn't get it until 2017.
Yeah, they were pretty far off.
Worth the wait.
Well, guys, was it worth the wait? Let's go right into there. How did this beat your expectations? If it beat them.
Beat/meet?
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start with Taylor, because I want to know your thoughts.
Well, it was interesting. Like I just said, I was listening to an old video I recorded talking about Persona 5, what my expectations were. And basically, my expectations were I want it to look like Catherine, which it did, and I think it looks better than Catherine, where it's got that same style, but it's obviously there's more flair to it. I wanted better dungeons, which we got in spades. They're actually crafted now. It's not this randomly generated stuff, although we do have that in Mementos. And then I think I said I wanted expanded social links, and we get that in the side confidants, which are way more useful than ever before. Before they were just sort of there, but now they give you new abilities and stuff like that. So
and more interesting.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're more interesting for sure. So I would say it definitely met and in some ways exceeded my expectations. There's a lot of stuff about the combat system that I didn't know going in, especially like the baton passing and all that stuff.
But we played it at PSX. You should have known that.
Before that, though.
Oh, okay.
Like way, way back in the day before we even saw gameplay or anything. But yeah, no, I mean, we'll get to if it beats Persona 4 at some point, but it definitely met and exceeded expectations. Definitely my favorite PS4 game. Easily the best JRPG on the system. And I don't know if this has changed, but I think it's still the highest rated PS4 game on Metacritic, if you don't count remasters. So, yeah.
How about you, Ben?
It definitely exceeded my expectations, which I was surprised. I didn't know that was possible. But the ways that it exceeded my expectations, I think, are definitely the dungeon design. I really loved going through all of those palaces. I thought they were well done, where I had to think about what I was doing, and there was enough variety present in all of them. And they, I don't know, in both Persona 4 and Persona 3 and Persona 2 and Persona 1, I definitely reached a point probably around the halfway mark where I just got sick of doing dungeons. It just wasn't fun for me anymore. I cared about the story and I cared about the characters, but I didn't like exploring anymore. And that didn't happen with Persona 5, and so that was a big deal. Interesting. I thought just Tokyo at large had a lot more going on. I had more options for how to spend my time, and I really liked that. And some of the characters, I think, surprised me in a big way. I had sort of pegged Sojiro as this certain type of character, and then how they developed him and how they changed him, I thought was really cool. Better job of tying the personal individual stories into the broader theme of what the game was about speaking out and about rebellion and about doing something even if everyone is against you. So yeah, that's kind of my general take on Persona 5, I guess.
I think everyone agrees with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying about Sojiro specifically, because I remember when I started the game, like, Dojima's better. I don't like this guy. But then, like you said, like as it goes on, especially after Futaba gets introduced, he's probably one of the better characters in the game. Yeah, he's cool.
You better give him the journal, guys.
Oh yeah,
the journal.
Definitely gave him the journal.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Your save book.
Oh, at the end of the game.
Yeah. Because he has like a moment if you give it to him, he looks at it and like
looks like it wipes his eyes. I think you read it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Good times.
I don't know if this happened for you guys, but when they that option came up, I'm like, why am I giving him this thing? What is this? Because they don't call out that notebook very often, and so then I was like, oh, that's right. I had to because of the thing, because I'm a criminal. I had to record my daily activities. That's right.
I love the way they tied that in with your saves. Like, you got to write down your daily activities. You're saving the game.
Yeah.
It's like, that was clever. Very clever.
I mean, what do we write down? Yeah, so I went into this guy's palace.
I went into the metaverse. We finally made it to this room that changes. Yeah, we'll be out there in just a few more minutes.
But it's cool that everything's contextual. It's not just random.
It honestly kind of makes me wonder what he actually did write in it. Like, would he have written everything about the metaverse, or would he just written about his daily activities? That's what the anime's for.
We already got it. It's called the.
I hope it's just pictures of Morgana that he's drawing.
That would have been awesome. That'd be awesome.
Just got this different pictures.
No, cat, I won't go to sleep. Damn you!
Damn it! Want to go outside?
Story moments. Let's block that.
You talked about everything being contextual, and that was something that was a big point of praise for me. So much so that I haven't heard a lot of other people sing its praises, to the point where I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, maybe did I? But no, what they did with the whole thief theme, I think, was much stronger if you're directly comparing it to Persona 4, where you're sort of these investigators. I think they mechanically represent the thief theme better in Persona 5, where you have that bar and the loading screen when you're switching days. Like, this is how people think of you when you go to a safe room to save, and you can check in with your other thieves, sneaking around, ambushing things. I don't know. I thought all that stuff was well done.
They tied the theme together very well, I feel.
Yeah, no, even the sneaking around, even the whole idea of if you get caught too many times, you get thrown out of the dungeon, which never happened to me, but like
never happened to me
that's
either.
cool that is possible.
Right.
That happened to me.
I thought it was gonna happen to me in the last palace, actually, because I was at 99. I didn't realize where a save room was, so I started running through the boat, and I got caught. Like, someone saw me, and I hit them right before, but I was at 99%, so I was really scared that they were gonna throw me out after I killed the dude.
And then your credits just start rolling.
And the credits just started rolling. Oh, game over. He failed.
We can't go back in.
But no, all was good. Went in. What was the question?
Wait, what question?
Oh, the Persona. Did it meet your expectations?
Did it meet my expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys know me. I don't really have expectations when it comes to these games. It's like I've trained myself to never really have that much expectations on things, so I don't get disappointed. So definitely like blew me away when I played this game. I got so hooked into it. I think I played most of the game on my Vita.
Which surprised me. You were walking around the house just like, I hear music going on. I'm like, what are you doing? Playing it on my Vita. You know, cooking teriyaki chicken, playing on my Vita. I'm just like,
Persona 5 on my Vita.
Okay.
That surprised me. Maybe I just have bad eyes, but I did a little remote play as well. And I was like, the text is just a little bit too small on my Vita. But it didn't seem like you had that problem.
Do you have a PS4 Pro?
Yes.
Okay. Because I guess because you could stream in 1080p and everything, and so it looked like a pretty spot on. It looked like I was playing on the Vita itself. Like I was playing,
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So I didn't have any blurriness. I mean, sometimes it was small. Like it was. I felt some lag sometimes, but it was like for what I was doing, it was great. Because I was like, I don't want to sit in my chair and play. I'm gonna go lay in bed and play until 4 a.m.
Nice.
Quote from Nick, he played over 24 hours in one day.
Yeah.
Saturday, I played over 24 hours, guys.
I didn't mean to say that, but yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I played for a long time, and
I think that is like a hallmark. I think that most of us of this game, that I think most of us fell victim
playing
to
for 24 hours.
Yeah, playing for over 24 hours in one day.
Yeah.
No, but like just going on these just marathon sessions where like you don't want to stop playing because it's like, all right, or what's after this next palace? What happens when I level up this next confidant, social link? They're not called social links. I'm just going to keep calling them that because that's what
I like the
everybody
word confidant, to be honest, but yeah, social links.
because I can tell you, for me, like there were definitely plenty of days where like I didn't see the sun because I was just inside all day playing Persona 5.
That was that Saturday. I think I started Shido's Palace, and then by 4 a.m. I was fighting the final boss, the actual final boss.
Jeez.
And then I lost. I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that almost happened to me. But in the first 2 days, because remember I was on spring break and I was super pumped about it. So
Yeah,
I had 2 days free, completely free. I got Persona 5 at 10:30 when I woke up and played for 12 hours, went to bed, woke up, repeated the process. So in 2 days I had like 25 hours in. I was like, oh God.
I remember you walked in all smug like, because I'm usually really farther than you, and you're like, oh,
I know where you are.
you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. These two were all like, so, Maddie, where you at? I'm just like, about 3 hours ahead of you. And just like, oh, okay. So, like, does the game ever stop holding your hand about nights? I'm just like, nope.
And I just remember you're like, man, I hate how whenever you go to the metaverse or to Mementos, you have to go straight to bed. And then I figured out that way an ability.
Yes, Nick.
That ability was great.
Best ability.
Yeah. So Ben, I know you got it early, so you probably didn't need to marathon it, but did you have any like marathon days where you just that's all you did?
Yeah, I definitely did, because when we first got Persona, and I was already doing 2 other reviews that I was in the middle of and trying to finish up, and so I didn't get to playing Persona review until I was probably 10 or 15 hours in, but it wasn't until like immediately after our 1-year anniversary that I was playing, and I was playing a lot. Like once I was at that point, I was playing 8 to 10 hours a day, which was delightful. I wouldn't have it any other way, but Yeah, that was kind of how I experienced it.
I became Futaba.
Yeah, we all became
Futaba.
Futaba.
For 8 hours a day.
Oh, that's the best. Like every time a new Naughty Dog game comes out, I mean they're getting longer and longer, so it's harder to do this. But I'll just take the day off work and literally, from the moment I wake up until it's done, I'll just play all day. And obviously you can't do that in Persona, but
I mean you can play all day. You just won't beat it.
You just won't beat it. Yeah.
And
Persona is the 1 day structure makes it so easy. Like it's so easy to lie to yourself and say, well, one more day can't take that long, right?
One more day.
Yeah, it's so easy to get into that mindset, and you just lose track of time.
That feels like Harvest Moon. Just one more day.
Right.
Just one more day.
Just one more day. I couldn't believe. I mean, the fact that we did have all these marathoning days, and like we never got tired of it, is kind of amazing to me because it's like 100-hour plus game, and we were marathoning it. That's crazy.
Yeah. When I first did my first marathon of the first palace. After I beat it, I felt tired. I was like, I cannot play this game right now. It's like it was so much, but then like the story continued. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
It just kept
but
going.
I just felt really tired afterwards. It made you exhausted because the first palace is really intense. It was
it's super long. Yeah,
it introduces so much stuff to think about. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think what's great about Persona just in general is that it's always, almost until the end of the game, it introduces new characters. So there's always something new to try when you're going to a new dungeon or like you're wanting to just get a feel for their social link to see if anything interesting happens. So there's always a hook, like Ben, like you were saying earlier, there's like so many new side activities in this game. It's like you can level up stats, but there's like 5 ways to do it. It's like, do I want to go play baseball, or do I want to watch DVDs or play games or go study? Like there's so many ways to level up your stats in this game.
Go to a maid cafe for some reason.
Oh my god.
I still never did that.
I don't even know where that is.
I never went to the maid cafe.
So it is kind of as awkward as you would expect, but in terms of just buffing your stats, it's really useful.
Yes.
Because regardless with the maid cafe, I think you always get charm, but depending on what you order, you get another stat buff. It's kind of like the diner where you can go and study, where you'll always get knowledge, but there's a chance you can get something else.
Yep.
I never used the diner. I just realized I never used the diner because I couldn't figure out where it actually was. So I missed out on that. Like the way to raise my knowledge at the very end, I was just constantly studying in a booth at LeBlanc. Just sitting there. I was just like, I did it like 5 days in a row. I was like, come on, come on. Like, how much knowledge do you need?
When I was trying to raise my charm to be able to go out with Makoto, it was raining all the time, right?
Oh.
So I was trying to do the bathhouse, and I remember I reloaded at least 10 times because every single time I'd be knocked out and I wouldn't get anything. I would get like guts or something like that.
What do you mean you'd be knocked out?
Because when it's raining, you're able to stay longer.
But there's a chance.
There's a chance that you overheat. And
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I probably did that on a rainy day. I think around 10 times. It always worked. Never got knocked out.
That's funny. I never even knew you could do that.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, what? Come on, I can at least get one.
I studied in the library a lot, or sometimes, because it raises both your knowledge and your guts. Because everyone's just like saying you're a murderer, even at the very end of the game when you're like everyone likes you. But there's like always a chance that you get distracted, so you'll get knowledge, but you won't get any guts. But I kept getting I only got distracted once out of like the 15 times I did it. It's like, okay, cool. So knowledge and guts, sweet.
I like listening to the soundtrack because there's all these songs that we never heard before. It's like, where does this play? Where does this play? There's like a Juness theme in there, and there's also the shopping channel theme in Persona 5 as well.
That's a thing I forgot to do.
Yeah, you find a laptop and you repair it, and then you could shop online. Apparently, I didn't do that, but it has that jingle. Dun, 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 dun. And then,
I was shocked that it wasn't the TV shopping.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I was amazed. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then if you play a Crane game, it plays the Juness theme.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Da, 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 da,
but it's like a
da,
carnival electronic version.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's good. That's cool. That's a good cameo.
So it's there.
I like it.
Speaking of cameos, which ones did you find? Did anyone find like a really big cameo?
I mean, the obvious one is Risei's poster in Konami.
Mention of the Detective Prince and mention of Chie on the channel, on the TV.
That's what you got?
Yeah.
I got one of Akari.
Oh, from Persona 3?
Yeah, she was...
Oh, the Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah.
I got that one too.
And she's like, oh, she's also a college student. I'm like, she's still in college? I guess, since we figured out it's only been like 2 years since Persona 4.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, because of the age? Because, the date
age.
is 20XX or something, right? So...
Because at first we thought it was going to be like 8 years after Persona 4. And we're like, oh man, I can't wait to see grown-up Nanako. It's going to be great. And it's only like 2 years after.
Yeah. Ben, was there any you saw that we missed, or is there a hidden one somewhere?
No, you covered. Not only did you cover all the ones that I hit, I didn't see the Yukari or Chie reference at all.
The Chie reference was very subtle, but it was basically someone talking about a police. They're playing the police academy.
Yeah, there's someone really amazing at the police academy, and she knows kung fu. It's like, well, that's obviously Chie.
Oh, that's like all the extent of it? Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of her social link, she wants to be a police officer.
And she knows kung fu.
And she knows kung fu.
Interesting.
Oh.
Nothing quite like visiting the high school from Persona 3 and Persona 4, though.
Yeah, I was totally expecting Naoto to be there because there's a huge police presence in this game.
Yeah.
Well, I thought for sure, I thought for sure when you go to the trip to Hawaii, I thought for sure somebody from the past game would be there also on a school trip or something, because they lean so heavily into that. Even in, I think, Persona 3, aren't there Persona 2 characters or something?
I thought Persona 3, there's
Persona
Persona
3,
4 characters in Fez.
Yeah, in Persona 3 Portable, not Fez.
Oh.
There's the girl teacher that replaces whatever, Moranchi or whatever his name is.
Oh, okay.
There's also Vincent from Catherine in the Bar.
That's right, yeah. That's funny.
So in the remake, we're probably going to see,
more cameos. Actual cameos.
And hopefully the Hawaii trip's not boring.
Yeah, you didn't do anything in the Hawaii trip. You walked around a little bit.
You walked around and it's like, there's nothing to do here.
You had a
it's
little
just like
date.
Japan.
Yeah. It did feel really real to me, though. Like, they wouldn't, in real life, they wouldn't be relaxing right now. They'd be kind of freaking out about the circumstances, and it did feel like Japan. So, I don't know, felt real, but it didn't hit the persona like, oh, fun field trip kind of deal.
I didn't want to go out with Makoto either.
I did go out with Makoto.
It was either Makoto or Mishima. And I'm pretty sure that I was going out with Kawakami by then. And I was like, that's weird. Why can I pick her?
Very strange.
Very strange indeed.
Question.
Yo.
We're talking, was I the only one who went into the game, like, not knowing the first, like, how the game worked, like, the first 15 minutes of the game? Because you guys already knew how the beginning of the game started, right? And knew kind of how the combat already went. Was I the only one who, like, Ben, did you know some stuff before you went into it, or did...
Yeah, I had seen the first, probably, 15 minutes of that game. They did a demo, and then they skipped ahead to some of the Kamoshida stuff. And so I had some idea of how things were progressing and how that game began.
Yeah, I knew how the whole thing began.
That's crazy.
Because I'll probably watch the same thing that Ben watched. And I was like, oh, thanks, game.
Yeah, I went into it completely, basically fresh. I didn't watch anything. I only knew that the Velvet Room was a prison. So the first 15 minutes of the game blew my mind.
Yeah. I'm actually really glad that you brought that up, because a complaint that is not registering with me at all is people that are like, I can't believe how unbearably slow the beginning of Persona 5 is. And I thought it worked really well. I liked the sort of scene that they had where Joker gets captured. I thought that was engaging. I thought Kamoshida was a very good sort of first arc, and that they were introducing mechanics like at a pretty even rate. Because I think about the Persona 4 opening, and it's like, you don't do anything in that game for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So comparatively, I thought it was much stronger.
I gotta say, the hook was, like, very good. Like, that they play that scene, and you're immediately like, what? You're just hooked into that game.
Wait, which scene?
Mm-hmm.
The
beginning.
very beginning?
The very beginning.
Okay.
And then you're just like, it's like, 6 months earlier, or however. Oh, it doesn't even say, it just says earlier, I think. It doesn't give you a time limit. And you're just like, what happens? And that just drags you to play the game.
Someone called you out or whatever.
One of your friends sold you out.
We all know who.
Yeah, we do. Asshole.
But I want to say, like, somebody made a point about this, that the first dungeon just the way the boss is set up and the hook and all that is not as good, or it's better than the rest. Like the rest don't get better, especially with On's friend like committing suicide or trying to commit suicide, and you like sort of watch it happen almost. And I'm like, man, this is really intense. Like I know in Persona 3 you're like shooting yourself in the head and all that stuff, and 4 is a murder mystery trying to solve all that stuff, but like they just went right into it right off the bat, like, okay, this is kind of what's going on here. All right.
That was pretty intense. I mean, the girl that Yusuke, right? Yusuke liked died just right at the beginning of the game.
Yosuke. I thought you were talking about Yusuke.
Man, this is so confusing.
Yosuke. Yeah, Yosuke.
Yeah, the girl that he was wanting to go out with dies right at the beginning. It's like, whoa, okay, that's pretty intense.
I think the difference is you don't see her die. Like in 5, you actually watch that girl like fall off the building. I'm like, whoa.
While I was watching it, I totally thought like she wasn't gonna do it. I was like, oh, she's not. She's just threatening. And then when she actually jumps out, you're right. It was just like, whoa, okay.
I do agree with the sentiment, though, that they do a better job of contextualizing Kamoshida and his effect and how shitty he's making everybody's lives than a lot of the other characters. Because some of them I don't even remember. Like the gangster, I thought
Kaneshiro, yeah,
pretty throwaway. Even the Haru's dad storyline, I think, could have been better presented. Exception that I would make is I really liked what they did with Futaba in the pyramid, and how this wasn't some outside figure being the antagonist here. It was her sort of internalizing this pain. I thought that whole palace and that whole storyline was very well done.
Yeah, that story arc was pretty grand. It was weird because it was showing like how she felt on the inside. She couldn't control her instinct to push people away. So, and it was visibly shown in her cognitive world where she's trying to help him, but then suddenly they're in a trap and they're close to death. And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I think it was a clever way to spin how Persona normally does it. Like even in 4, it's like you go into a dungeon, you awaken your persona, and then you just keep doing that over and over and over. But yeah, I liked in 5, like you were saying, but it was clever, a little something different. And it seemed like she even understood what was happening, because obviously people are like, are the Phantom Thieves even real? But Futaba was like, I know you guys are real. Please change my heart, because I can't go on living like this anymore.
Also because she was spying on them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And
yeah.
One of the most adorable scenes in the entire game is when they go into Sojiro's house and the lights go out, and they're all scared, and Futaba's in the back. Everything about that scene worked for me.
I think one of my favorite scenes is when they're trying to convince her, like, we need to like see you, like we need to give you this thing to like take your heart, and like silence, and then suddenly she bursts out and just like she's like, okay, do it, and they're like,
yep,
that's not how it worked, and she's like, just slowly backs up, slams the closet door again. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man, and that whole plot device of Sojiro finding out was the fact that she kept the calling card because it was memorable. It's like,
oh yeah.
Wow, that's nice touch.
The calling card.
The calling card.
What didn't she like misunderstand how it worked or something?
She actually thought. Yeah, she actually thought they steal
her heart, like physically, like they walk in and
do something.
So that's why she burst out of the closet.
No, but wasn't there something like, oh, I sent you a calling card. Now don't.
Oh yeah, she sends a calling card. It's like, okay, now you can steal my heart. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
God.
So like the whole thing was she completely misunderstood what they were trying to do, and like part of the problem was they were trying to figure out how to get the information they needed from her, because Alibaba doesn't want to be talked to.
Alibaba, yeah, that whole thing was funny. Yeah.
What's hilarious?
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh God. Okay. When you finish the Futaba dungeon and she falls asleep, I did it like when I had 20 days left to stop Midget, because I totally thought you had to do another dungeon after it.
Uh-huh.
And so the whole 20 days, I texted Taylor during this. I'm just like, Futaba is sleeping for so freaking long. Like, is she going to wake up, or are we going to have to do this dungeon in one go? And it wasn't until she like wakes up and just completely destroys them. I was like, oh, there was really no dungeon. I'm stupid.
That is an awkward thing with Persona structure, and I had that happen a lot of times. I would try to finish the palace right away, and then they'd have this, like, it'd be like you said, 20 days, and they're like, "Man, I hope we don't get found out." And like the game is trying to acknowledge that you have so much time before it can move on to the next thing, but it feels very artificial. The one thing I wanted to say about Futaba, real quick, that I thought the game did an excellent job of is she's this genius hacker girl who's very capable. But I think a lot of times when you have characters like that that are exceptionally skilled, even more so than the adults surrounding them, they don't really feel like kids. It's like they're just young adults. They don't really have or exhibit a lot of the flaws that kids would have, and I think Futaba does that. I think Futaba still has a lot of kids in her, where she talks a certain way, but it's not overdone. There are certain situations where she kind of is an idiot just because she's not familiar with it, and so I think they did a good job balancing that with her specifically.
I think that was like one of my favorite aspects of her personality is that she is kind of weird and quirky and maybe a little socially inept in some ways, and like going through her social link was really funny because there are parts where like, yes, I got the platinum trophy and I'm gonna see it ping in the corner, just like stuff like that.
I think I leveled up 50 times.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Or like life is just an RPG for her.
Oh no! Well, it was hilarious. There's a D&D reference where she's just like, "I'm so lucky, man. I feel like if I roll one, I could roll a 20 right now." And I was like, "I get that." Futaba.
By the way, did any of you guys catch the Catherine?
But she was never making those. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, did anybody catch the Catherine statue in her room? At some...
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
I never played Catherine, so I didn't catch that.
Oh, okay.
There's technically a Yukari statue in there because she has a pink Power Ranger.
That's true.
Oh,
Featherman.
Featherman, my bad.
Neo
Featherman.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Ben?
This is where she talks about leveling up or rolling a 20, all that stuff. I think that is really hard to incorporate into the script because it can become like cloying so easily, where it's like, all right, I get it, you're a nerd. I think they did it just enough that it was endearing. It never crossed the line for annoying to me, which I liked.
Yeah.
I remember when she started texting emoticons, and Maddie's like, she's quoting emoticons!
I'm just like, she's doing emoticons! This lady has won the game!
I was like, yes.
I was just like immediately Futaba favorite character. She's her relationship between Yusuke is great, by the way. Stupid Inari.
It's just another stupe.
Well, that was the conversation where she started using emoticons, where like Yusuke says something and she does an emoticon. He's just like, I don't get what that means, and she does another emoticon. So good. Yeah, Futaba.
I take it that's everyone's favorite girl.
Are we gonna say who our favorite girl is now?
I guess we might as well.
Yeah, we got a question from Twitter. Let's do a Twitter question right now.
Okay.
Who's your best girl from @Jace2Game?
I'm not surprised that this is a question.
I'm like, okay. I think it was a joke question, but still, it's like, it's obviously going to be asked.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who didn't pick someone different.
We don't know what Ben's is.
I have a feeling I know who Ben's is.
But we still don't know until
Ben,
he says it.
You're going to say yours first.
My favorite character in Persona 5 is Futaba. Yeah. I like her a lot.
But
her storyline I liked the best.
But who's your waifu? Is it Futaba?
Now, especially after like so many years of Chiik jokes that I like willingly played into, so it's my own fault. But honestly, I don't really get into the whole waifu thing as much as people think I do. She's the one that I did max out her confidant relationship. So
did you not have a girlfriend for Persona 5?
No, I did. I maxed out both on and then her, so I did both of them.
Okay.
So it is definitely Futaba.
Yeah.
But it's weird saying Futaba because she's 15, and that doesn't sit well with me either.
Exactly. So. That's what I've been telling these guys.
Yeah, but your character's 17. It's fine.
It's fine.
Or 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we already know who Maddie's and Taylor's is.
Well, I mean, if best girl, Futaba. Best character, Joker.
Yeah, that's another.
Oh, interesting. Why do you think Joker's the best character?
Husbando Joker. Man, that's going to be a really long conversation. So I think we should like continue this first, and then I could get into that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say anything that hasn't been said already. I will say at first, I initially really, really liked Makoto because I felt like I could relate to her in a lot of ways because she was one of those people where she just sort of did what people told her to, and she would just go along with it even if it made her mad or if she didn't really want to do it. And I felt like personally that's like something I've struggled with and I'm trying to change like this year very specifically is not just go along with the flow and really say what I feel. So when she awakened her persona, that was like maybe my favorite moment in the entire game because I'm just like, yes, she's breaking free of all that crap and she's just being who she is and she's like a badass. She's riding her persona. Her persona is a motorcycle. Like no other character.
She is level 2 Snow. Is his name Snow?
Snow.
What's the Final Fantasy 10? Final Fantasy.
Oh
13.
yeah, you're right. Snow.
Yeah, his name is Snow.
At first, I thought you were maybe talking about Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. I'm like, what?
No, level 2 because he rides Shiva as a motorcycle.
That's right. So initially, I really, really liked Makoto, and I leveled her up as fast as I could. But then her social link was just bad. Not bad. I shouldn't say bad. She went back to the whole like honor student goody two shoes and like, oh, that's so boring. Why did you do that? Like, have it be. I know. I just thought she'd lean more into the not listening to people stuff. But yeah,
she was more forceful with her friend.
That's true.
She did give her a good old bitch slap.
That was pretty awesome.
It's funny that you say that because Makoto was one of my favorite characters as well, and I still have a super positive impression of her. But I didn't max out her social link. However, like one of the most disappointing moments in the game was seeing the conclusion of Ann's storyline because I thought it was bad. We don't have to get into it now, but it's just maybe it was like other people have disappointing resolutions to confidants as well.
I just felt Ann wasn't well written. It felt like
I agree.
It was like she wasn't explained enough. It felt like a really lame Risei.
Okay. But yeah, when I think of the characters as a whole, she's probably like you said, definitely the least developed, probably a little bland, just sort of like a typical high school model girl.
She's a blonde.
She says blonde. Totes.
Get it? B-L-A-N. Blonde or bland.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That was terrible.
You can hit me now.
Yeah.
But then,
okay.
Go ahead, Ben.
So for Ann's confidant, she has this whole modeling thing that she's doing, and there's a competing model that she looks up to, but who totally mistreats her, is a total bitch to Ann. And this is Ann's response. Wow, she was really mean to me, but I still love her. I still look up to her. And it's like, no, you went through this entire thing with Kamoshida, who was abusing people, and this is your response to the modeling thing? Like, these two storylines are completely opposed. Like, you're an entirely different character right now. We put so much effort into not letting this person take advantage of us. Like, why are you doing this? Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to get it out.
That was good.
I just remember the beginning of that scene where the other model is like, so how do you exercise? What do you eat? What do you do this? And he's like, I eat snacks and sweets. Oh, I don't exercise at all. I don't do anything. She's like totally oblivious. Mm-hmm. And then she, the other model just becomes a total bitch. And it's like, and then she's like, I needed that. I needed her to be a bitch at me. And it's like, no.
No.
That is certainly disappointing. That's very, very weird that's how that ended.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how it ended.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to be a model and I'm going to work hard at it. It's like,
no.
Okay.
All right, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, like, on its own, that might have been okay, but, like, Ben, like, what you were saying, like, when faced with what she deals with, like, at the beginning of the game, outside of just the confidant stuff, like, yeah, that's very weird.
Mm-hmm. It was just awkward. I was finally, because I wanted to get, even though I didn't, I wanted to get them to level 10 so I get their next persona. So I just got hers done really quick. Because she was really easy to level up. Like, everything you said, if you were just nice to her, you got 3 skill points every time.
Nick said Ann was easy.
Yeah, Ann was easy.
Ann was easy.
Because she leveled up really quick every time. But my girl's the most strangest one. Mm-hmm. I think Kawakami, the teacher, is one of the best girls in the game.
Oh boy.
I think I just gotta say, I think it's cool that there is such just a wide breadth of different characters in this game for not only for confidence, but that you can date like the reporter, the doctor, the fortune teller girl. Like it's just like what
I just thought
Shogi player.
Yeah.
shogi player.
But she's young. These were the adults.
Yeah, we're talking about the adult ones.
Yeah. Like I like the whole story with her is hilarious.
Yeah.
Ryuji finds
It is hilarious.
Yeah, Ryuji finds
I can't.
a maid service poster. I don't know. Does he find it at school?
No, I think he he just found it around town, and he was like, "Hey guys,
We gotta call this.
this."
And I was like, okay, this is just a funny moment. And I didn't do it for like the first couple days, and then I did because I was leveling up Mishima. I was like, oh yeah, I could go do that. I did that, and the first thing that when she pops up, I'm like, no way, they're not doing this, are they? Because it's like she was like, you look kind of young. Your skin's like perfect. And it's like I'm in college. It's like really,
Master.
yeah. And then she hears Ryuji, and she was like, oh my god. And then she's like, Sakamoto, Mishima.
No, it's Sakamoto.
Sakamoto? And then she just looks at you and is like, oh, it's you.
Turn around.
Turn around.
Big reveal. What?
Like, how can you not notice it was him? I mean, he's pretty
I know,
original.
he's pretty noticeable. He's got his sweet hipster glasses he doesn't need.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
loved with Kawakami where she is like hinting that she has this serious reason for moonlighting as a maid, and she does, but she lies
about it at
saying
first.
she has this sick sister, and then she's like, yeah, I don't. That's not true. Because that's how social links tend to go, where they have that one reason. And I thought it was just such a hilarious moment when Kawakami was like, nope, that's not what's going on.
not going on. I'm actually being extorted.
Yeah.
I want to take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how many times she's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm using you, so like, don't call me because I'm using you. Like, stop.
And it's like, no, I'm just
gonna keep calling you.
I just want to throw my money away.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's like, I see your level 10 ability. I'm gonna get that.
That's his reason.
It was an amazing ability.
Yeah.
You first you get the massage, and then you make her make coffee, and then you go do something else. It's perfect, and it's all free because you're level 10. But
is it?
yeah. When
Oh,
you're
I
level
should have
10, it's
been
all
making
free.
coffee. Ah, man.
But I just found that like you, as you said, like she was lying about her sister part, and then like her character grows, and then when you start going out with her, you don't know this until you start going out with. She's worried that they're gonna get caught or how they're gonna act and everything like that, and she's like she starts acting like a high school student, and it's really funny. You saw it,
Yeah, and I saw
you watched
bits and pieces of it,
the
yeah.
scenes, and it's like when I was watching Futaba's romantic scenes, I'm like, this is weird. It just feels awkward. But then hers is like more real to me, and it was funny. And once the final thing that she says when you're leaving is that you should move out, get your own place when you graduate high school, so I'll do all your household chores.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's like, okay,
I'll wait for you.
No,
Or
it's like,
whatever.
I'll wait for you. So I thought that relationship was funny, or was the best. I don't know about the doctors. I don't know about
I was really
anyone
close
else.
to going out with the doctor, I will say that, but as soon as I selected it and I got that text, it's just like, we need to talk. I'm just like, this is just too awkward for me. I went back and remade my mind because I happened to say right before I went in for level 9. And I was like, it's just, the older women it's just like too awkward for me. I can't do that.
Technically, they're younger than us, but
No.
not you.
Yeah.
but me.
I'm talking to me.
But another thing that threw me off with Kawakami is that at the beginning of the relationship, she was all like trying to stop doing the master thing. She like catches herself. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm just used to doing that. But at the end in the Valentine's scene, she like calls herself, it's like, you're my master and all that, and being all flirty. It's like, so what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be flirty, calling like you're my maid? Or it's like, it was confusing because
That's like their thing.
yeah, it's their thing at the end, but the beginning it didn't seem like they wanted it to be the thing.
Well,
It was fun. It was funny. What I do want is more scenes with the cast members.
What do you mean?
More funny scenes. Not I'm not talking about romantic stuff.
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
I'm talking just like, the bathhouse scene or wait.
there was no bathhouse scene.
But there was wasn't there one in the
trailer?
not the trailers. They were showing off footage like the first time, and they had a bathhouse scenes with Ryuji. Do you remember this, Ben?
Yeah, I remember. It was, in fact, as I was going into the bathhouse, I kept expecting a scene with Ryuji, but it never came.
There was a scene with Ryuji.
Was there a scene with Ryuji in the bathhouse?
Yeah, it was just Ryuji and Yusuke because Anne had to go home, and that's all you had at your party at the time.
How did you get that? How did you?
It was part of the story.
I don't remember that.
They went.
I don't remember either.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, it was I think they were like trying to talk about their next move because it was only Yusuke at the time, and they couldn't figure out anything, so they went to the bathhouse to think. Now. And Anne they were like, "Oh, you want to come?" She's like, "Nah, guys, I gotta go do a modeling thing later."
Yes. Okay. And then Ryuji yells at the old man. It's like, "Stop! It's hot enough."
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. There we go.
They're trying to ignore, and then Ryuji does Ryuji things.
There needed to be more scenes like that, like when they stayed at the Amagi Inn in Persona 4.
Oh my god!
They needed something like that.
Yeah. Talking about the like fun times, like the fireworks thing gets rained on.
That actually was pretty funny, And then Ann does that thing.
Right. And then they go to Hawaii, and like you guys said, like no one's really that into it.
Yeah, that is the one thing I'll say that maybe is what holds it back from me liking Persona less than Persona 4 or whatever is those fun moments where you just get to have fun with the characters. Yeah, like it's weird, like, oh cool, let's have a fun fireworks event, and it gets rained out. Like
they don't do anything afterwards.
Yeah, then they just go home.
They go into a store and we're like, I think we guys should go home.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That was kind of lame. And then the Hawaii, I feel like that was the perfect opportunity for like crazy antics, because it's like, all right guys, let's sneak out, or like let's go surfing, or let's go hit on some girls or something. But they didn't really do any of that.
The thing is,
I did really like the scene where Anna's staying in your room and kind of the conversations that they have there.
Yeah.
I thought that stuff was all right.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, and
actually, now that you mentioned
Mishima
it,
gets sick because he drank the Hawaiian water.
Right.
Forgot about that.
But they did add something to the relationships now. They added 3 dates you could go on.
Yeah, which I didn't know about because I just assumed it was like Persona 4, where like, oh, if you just go out, nothing happens, and so I just didn't do that. But
you went on a couple.
I went on 2 dates. I underestimated the amount of time I had left, so I only went on 2 dates, and I was saving my room for the last, so I never got to see the my room scene.
Yeah, I went on all 3. It was like.
You also had a lot of time having a girlfriend, so.
Oh yeah, that too, and because I had the night thing. Because she would give me a massage, and then I would be able to ask her out right after.
That's funny.
It's really funny. It's like the first one was like we went to a museum and she was like a teacher. The second one was like a date, and the third one is the room one. So it was like it was like the in Persona 4 on Christmas Eve they go into your room.
Oh yeah,
it was like that.
Oh Naoto.
Yeah, but there was a scene. There is a scene with your girlfriend in the cultural festival as well.
Yeah. They go on stage. Well, I don't know if it's for everybody, but with mine, it was with Makoto, and she would go on stage and he was like, "I love you, Makoto." Or yep. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Wait, was Futaba there at that time?
No, it wasn't. She wasn't. So actually, it was Haru. Haru got brought up to the stage, and I had to yell, "I love you," just to distract them from targeting her with a bunch of questions.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because mine was after the festival. She walked up to me and then she's like, "We have time. Do you just want to hang out?" And they just talked.
I got that.
Yeah, and then we just talked about random stuff and how she's worried about me about being the Phantom Thief, because she knows I'm a Phantom Thief. And she's just really worried that we're gonna be found out. And then you could say like, "Can I lay on your lap?" And she's like, "No, not at school," and then walks away.
That's pretty funny. I think that was that. The Kawakami and that relationship was actually written really well, from what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, it's just funny because it's just like I could say really silly stuff, and she's always like, "No, not here. Can't do that at school. Maybe at your house though, but not here." Oh no, she said, "It's like, you know what you just said. I don't mind that, but just not at school."
Nice.
I was like, it's funny.
I'm curious.
What?
Who let's go. Who got what to 10?
First, I want to know if Ben had any funny scenes on the Culture Festival.
At the Culture Festival, it played out with me. The same thing played out with Haru, where she was called up to the stage, and I had to say that I loved her in order to dodge the questions.
Interesting. I never got that.
And then she's all like, I can't believe you said that. And you're just like, I just had to save you.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, so it played out in a nearly identical fashion for me.
Yeah.
The people that I got to 10, I only got 2 relationships actually up to 10 during my first playthrough. It was On and Futaba.
Wow.
2. I got Ryuji very close. I think he was 9.
I got Futaba, Sojiro, Kawakami, Doctor, On, and
Oh, wait. No, I got Hifumi up to 10 as well. I'm sorry.
Oh, the shogi player?
yeah.
Yeah, the shogi player. That's right.
And then, of course, Morgana and
Oh, the ones that are natural.
and
yeah,
Akechi.
yeah.
Those are the obvious ones. But those are the ones.
Sojiro was so tough for me. I felt like that relationship took just forever to progress.
Yeah. So what I noticed is when Futaba came, it was a lot easier.
Yeah,
Like at the beginning, it took forever.
I got Sojiro up after Futaba was in the group, and it was really fast for me. So I got Sojiro, Doctor, Teacher, Shogi player, Gamer Kid.
I forgot Mishima.
I hated that kid.
Dude, that kid. No, that storyline was actually the best. Man, I gotta explain that storyline. It's so good. And Makoto.
Mishima.
And Nishima.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a lot. I got 7 people to 10 besides the natural 10s.
Okay.
I'm still wondering how she did that.
It's because I'm okay.
Because she's godlike.
I'm godlike.
Let's see. What did I do? So I had, for me, it was Makoto, Futaba, the teacher, or not the teacher, the doctor, the shogi player, and I want to say that was it. Because then the rest, and Haru, but I didn't.
Can't believe you got Haru to 10.
Yeah, I'm amazed you got Haru to 10 at the beginning, at the first place.
There were just like long stretches where either I beat a palace early or something, and I was able to just knock it out because everybody else was already at 10. I'm like, she's got really good abilities, so I'm gonna try to level her up as much as I can. I think 5. Was there other ones? I didn't really. I tried to balance everything else out. I tried to get everybody at least to 3, so everybody could pass the baton and stuff like that. And then there were others that I got to like 7 or relatively high, just so I could have whatever their extra abilities are, but I never maxed them out.
Oh, I got Futaba to 10 too.
I didn't even get the journalist. I didn't get the psychic or the politician.
Really?
Or the gamer kid. I didn't even touch those.
Wow.
I really liked the politician storyline quite a bit. I invested.
I got him to like 5. I only did it to get money because he's really good for getting money.
Yep.
The cool thing about getting to level 10 is that at the end of the game they give you items that you do in your new game plus, and you get certain abilities immediately once you get the confidant. Once you get that confidant.
Oh wow!
So
you could get massages.
You get massages instantly right at the beginning of the game. The gun, you get the gun abilities with the kid.
Dude, I am so happy I got that kid to 10 because his gun abilities can like break the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, Maddie broke the game with guns. She just praised guns so much.
I praised guns so often because the very first ability you learn. How far did you talk to the game kid at all, Ben?
Yeah, I think I got him to 3 or 4, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay, so you literally got him to where he's like really mean and upset and not himself.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, so you know that the first ability you get, downshot, is basically you spend some of your ammo and you can instantly down an enemy. Mm-hmm. As you progress, you could get bullets are increased by like twice. So like Joker's 16 bullet pistol becomes a 32 bullet pistol. And then eventually you could pierce resistances, like gun resistances with his gun. And then like
criticals.
Yeah, and then you crit often. Like I could just use 3 bullets against 3 enemies, and usually I'll crit all 3 and bring them down.
Jeez.
And it does a lot of damage.
What's the gun all-out attack that you could start at the beginning of the battle?
Oh, and bullet hail. Yeah, bullet hail. That was I think 10 is when it was all like, yeah, bullet hail does even more damage. Bullet hail, you have a chance when you ambush an enemy to start a bullet hail, which means you all automatically surround the enemy, and you can fire. You press X rapidly to fire your gun. At the beginning, you bring all enemies down to like 3/4 of their health. But if you get him all the way, you can bring them down to half their health, regardless of what level they are. So if you get like you get that Mara, sweet Mara, and you get a bullet hail. You could bring him and his slimes all the way down to half health before you even attack.
Jeez.
Yeah, it seems so cheap.
And so when I got his little item for level 10, Nick was like, "Oh, what? It probably doesn't give you everything." And I look at it, it's like all gun abilities are unlocked. Just like sweet. I got all my gun stuff.
This is definitely a game you can New Game Plus just instantly.
I think I'm going to,
because there's so many extra things. Like I want to know what's up with the fortune teller. Like I talked to her like once. I don't know anything about her.
Yep. This New Game Plus is where you get all the confidence to 10.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you go
infuse
out with,
all the god
with
personas.
Everyone.
Yep.
You go out with everyone.
I think on a second playthrough, I could totally get into that mindset where I'm just trying to see what everybody can give me. But on that first initial playthrough, it's just, do I like you? Am I interested in what's going on in your story?
Totally.
Like that informs everything.
For sure.
So that's what I'm going to do with Cold Steel. Is now I'm going to do another playthrough, but this time I'm going to do all bonding events. Which
who do you hate the most in Cold Steel?
People are going to hate me, but I do not like Machias.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can see it. I
don't like Machias.
Are we talking of the main cast?
And we're talking about one, right? We're not
one.
Talking about
Just talk about one.
Okay.
But we're talking like only main cast. Like any enemies can we hate or just?
Oh, you can always hate enemies.
Okay. So main cast. That's hard. Wow. I really don't not like any of them, but probably the lowest would be Machias.
I didn't level up Machias or Eustace at all.
I mean, I leveled Eustace. I like Eustace. Actually, I didn't level up Fee at all, so I guess I didn't really care.
That's crazy.
I didn't really care about Fee.
We're talking about Cold
okay,
Steel
we're Persona 5.
No, what I was going to say before we get too far down a confidant rabbit hole, one thing we definitely wanted to talk about was comparing Persona 5 to 4. And just the game. Period. Like
I thought we wanted to do another one.
That's at the end.
That's at the end. Okay, fine.
But I thought we were going to do Persona 5 against.
That's later too.
Okay,
we're still talking about Persona 5, man.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about this all day.
Right. We're not. I told you that this is going to be a long one.
All right.
I want to talk about this because we didn't talk about this in the last SpoilerCast. The soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing in this game.
Yes. Yes.
I remember playing it on PSX, and I was hearing the battle theme. I hated it. I did not like it at all. And then I started listening to it again, and I was like, I love this battle theme so much.
Like 10 hours into the game, you're just like, this battle theme fits somehow.
Yeah, Persona has the weirdest battle themes that somehow fit in every single one.
Yeah, they just work.
They just work somehow. Like, I remember playing Persona 4, and I'm like, this is not a battle theme. What is this song? And then I love it forever.
Yeah. I want to talk... Actually, I'm surprised at how many boss battle themes, how many different kind of, like, boss battle themes there were in Persona 5. Because... There were, like, 5.
Yeah, around 5.
Around 5 of them. And if you count your Persona Awakening, because you usually have a mini, like, kind of a boss after that, that's kind of a boss theme, your Persona Awakening.
And I bet you Taylor likes those themes because they have riffing guitars.
Yeah,
Wait, who doesn't like riffing guitars?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, Taylor has, like, an affinity for them. He loves them.
Oh, yeah.
Anything with that,
he's resistant to just riffing guitars.
Yeah. I think I said the wrong word, didn't I?
You said affinity, yeah.
I didn't mean to.
No, I know what you mean. I enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. None immediately come to mind, mainly because I'm in the middle of playing Cold Steel right now, so I only have those songs stuck in my head. But
which also has a great soundtrack.
That does have a great soundtrack, yeah.
But yeah, it's very different. Like we were listening before this started, we were listening to the Persona 3 and Persona 4 soundtrack, and it's like super like hip hoppy, jazzy, like fun, upbeat, and like I think one thing that we were all saying is like Persona 5 is a little bit more subdued, like when you're just walking around. It's very kind of chill.
Every song is like that, except for the Maid Cafe song. That's not like that at all.
Oh my god.
It's pretty crazy, upbeat.
What I was kind of sad about, well, not sad, more like sad that they didn't kind of agree with me. It was my favorite song is
No.
My favorite song is the calling card song. When you send the calling card and you go into the palace, security's at 99%.
That's a very good one.
That is my favorite song in the entire game. The one with lyrics is even better for me. And I'm like, oh man, the song is so good. And all Nick and Taylor are just like, oh yeah, the trailer song. I'm like, no, don't think of it as a stupid trailer song.
Okay, I didn't mean that in a negative way. I like that song. That's outside of maybe the reveal song or the intro song. When you start the game with the intro movie song, like that's probably my second favorite song.
It's a really good song.
I know, it sucks. It's known as the trailer song in your minds, And yeah, I feel like you guys playing it beforehand kind of didn't let you. Okay, yeah.
Playing it beforehand?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, when I played because I played the beginning of the game, and I was like, whoa, mind blown, gotta play for 12 more hours.
Oh, you're saying like when we played it at PSX?
Yeah.
PSX was
I
the
couldn't
second
hear
Palace.
squat. It was too loud
It was
for
the
me.
second Palace one.
Yeah.
That's where
I know, but like I was talking about like, wow, could you believe the first 50 minutes of the game? And both of you are just like, oh, we already knew what happened. And I was like, what?
That's because that was on my part. I didn't mean to. I was watching. I was trying to look for gameplay or something, and it played. I was like, okay, I was watching it, and it played like the beginning of it. Beginning of the game, like, and then I read a comment like, "Oh, this is the beginning of the game. Way to spoil it, Atlas." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So, what do you think about the soundtrack, Ben?
I loved the soundtrack a lot. I think something that the Persona 5 soundtrack did better than Persona 3 and Persona 4. I mean, they obviously used jazz and R&B as kind of their centerpiece. Like with Persona 4, there's definitely this pop vibe, and with Persona 3, there was this hip-hop vibe, like you guys were saying.
Hip-hop and rap.
But I think they did a better job of like not just sticking to that theme, but fitting the tone of what was going on. I don't think they were as committed to that theme a lot of times, because like the battle themes were still like very rock heavy, which was appropriate. But also just the way that they made the city feel, like beneath the mask at night, hearing that kind of had that seductive quality to it that I liked.
And when it's raining, like there's no lyrics, it's just piano.
Yeah, it's good.
Whew. Yeah. I've been listening to it at work a lot.
I listened to it yesterday, and after I got out of class, I started crying.
Because you just beat the game.
I know, but exactly. So that's the soundtrack. I was just like, oh man, this the feels. Ah.
I remember when Taylor was getting to the Akechi part, where Akechi shows off that he's a traitor.
Wait, like the betrayer part. Okay. Yeah,
he shows me this picture. He's like, "Look at this face." And right when I got that text, the credit song to Persona 5 started playing, and I'm like, "Oh."
It was like
emotional. Yeah, it was like perfect timing because I was just at work and that started playing.
Yeah, the feels of the soundtrack definitely gives you like those the feels. You kind of remember what's happening in the game when that each song plays,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know, for me, maybe I did, because you guys listen to it, maybe I just don't listen to it as much as you, but it doesn't, I don't know, I like stuff that's a little more upbeat. So for me, I think I still like Persona 4 a little bit more, just because most of those songs are like fun, upbeat, like poppy or whatever. And 4 or in 5, it's like it totally fits the tone, like it totally fits what's happening like perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it, but if we were to just like straight up compare,
your personal preferences, you like the upbeat more.
Yeah,
it's funny because one of my favorite songs is called Alley Cat.
Yeah, I don't know why that's your favorite song.
It's one of the sad moments in the games. It usually plays at like a sad confidant story or something like that.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just really I really enjoy it. Like it's sad, but it's also like has this like positive feeling to it for some reason to me. I don't know why.
Interesting.
That's when you're talking to confidants, so it's like they always have those like sad dips, but you always uplift them somehow.
I know I've listened to the soundtrack enough that I know like where every song is in the game.
For sure. Yeah.
I love listening to like a big battle theme, and then like right after it shuffles and it goes to the romantic scene song, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Currently my playlist, my shuffle playlist, it goes from the song Regret, so it like plays whenever you beat that request in Mementos, and they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah, like, oh, I'll be a better person, but it's playing that like sad song, And then it goes from that. I'm just like, I was listening to that yesterday. I was just like, oh my God, why? And then it goes immediately to my favorite song. And I'm just like,
yes.
I was like, yes. I was like, this game is just too good.
It's kind of amazing, like, sometimes how well it matches the mood. Like, you're just talking about the Mementos, like the Mementos theme just immediately popped in my head. It's very simple. There's like not much to it. But it's like that dingy, like gross. You kind of get like a dingy, gross vibe from it. And like that's kind of what Mementos is. You're like just scrounging around the subway and it's like dark. And like as you go further, like it
gets
just
more and more creepy.
Yeah. So yeah, I could see how it all just blends well.
Definitely does. My alarm for the morning is Beneath the Mask.
Oh my God. How does that even wake you up?
Because it's loud and there's vibrations next to my pillow.
Okay, that's true.
It should be the calling card song. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm going to change that to mine, actually.
Gotta wake you up.
Gotta get ready.
Gotta go.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
No. But my ringtone is Last Surprise, which is the battle theme. It fits perfectly because right before it starts singing, it stops.
Didn't you change mine to my song, though?
What's your song?
Life will change.
No.
But you did it in front of me.
I changed it. I was like, I can, but I didn't.
Okay. That's okay. I forgive you.
So, how would you rank this soundtrack compared to 4? Maddie. We already know
Taylor's.
Yeah.
Compared to 4, that's really hard for me because like my junior year of high school was all Persona 4, so like I have a lot of fond memories of just listening to that soundtrack in class, and it's only been a day of having the soundtrack for me.
And Dancing All Night.
There's 2. That's hard. I want to. Gah.
I'm gonna throw the same question at you, Ben.
I feel you.
It's hard because I've played Persona 4 and I'm just more familiar with that music.
Yeah.
It's like it's been in so many games, it's been in 2 fighting games, a dancing game, a Vita version. It's been all over the place. And so
in an anime.
Yeah, exactly. Where like those songs are more distinct to me, but I think just fitting the mood, like you guys said, the soundtrack blended with what was going on better in Persona 5, and so I think it might be stronger, but I need to spend more time with those songs just listening to them on their own. Like on their own, I might like Persona 4 better soundtrack-wise, but in the game itself right now, I like 5.
He just summed that up for me so perfectly. Ditto.
Yeah, I enjoy both.
No comparison.
No,
you can't compare.
I can't compare because they're so different. Like I can listen to Almighty, the Almighty.
Da-dun. Yeah.
Yeah, that song, and then I can compare it to Rivers in the Desert, and it's like they both have a different tone, but they're both awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's interesting what you were saying, Ben, about how like I feel like 5 definitely fits the vibe of the game more. It fits what's going on. Like, for lack of a better word, Persona 4 is like more video gamey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's true.
Like I'm like thinking.
Well, because as you're running around, for example, after school, and it's like sunny, and it's playing like your affection. It's like there's lyrics and everything, like all upbeat.
Well,
There's
actually, is there any?
I don't think as you're running around, besides Beneath the Mask at night, you're not. There's no really lyrics. Like when you're running around Shibuya, it's like that's it.
Ooh, I like that song. Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's the only like vocals really when you're running around.
Yeah, there's a lot of vocals in 4 now that I think about it.
I know all those songs by heart.
You do.
I do.
It's kind of crazy how you know all the lyrics.
It's kind of king crazy, one might say. That's a Persona 4 Dancing All Night joke for those who don't get it at home.
Yeah.
These guys are addicted to that game. Or Maddie is, at least.
I'm nowhere near Maddie's level, but I do enjoy that game.
Game's a fun game.
Got the platinum.
So, do you think you're able to play Persona 4 after this?
I want to. I'm in the middle of Cold Steel, and I want to go through that and 2. But I really want to go back to 4 and see if it holds up like I think it will. Like, obviously, I think the battle system and the dungeon design is like way, way, way better in 5. Like the flow is just so much snappier and more fun. But man, I just, like you're saying, you live for those like fun character moments, and there's just so many more in 4 that I don't know. It'd be tough. It's shorter too. Like it's easily 30 hours shorter.
Yeah,
easy. Like maybe
it's like
even
a 60-hour
more.
game if you're playing through it for the first time.
Kind of amazing because I remember playing Persona 3 Fez, and I got like 110 hours on that game, and I don't know how. I didn't do anything extra.
Did you
I didn't do
dead
anything.
time it a lot?
I did not dead time it.
Okay.
I think I dead time it once with your birthday. When we went to that.
When we went to the
Yeah. Or if you guys don't know what dead time is what we call when we leave the game on and it just records our time and we're not really doing anything.
Or just like in the main menu, like not the main menu, but like that menu screen.
Yeah, we just call that dead time because we have a history, or we have a friend, Connor, who is notorious at doing that. He has like files.
That happened to me a lot.
Yeah. He has files that are like 999 hours because he just leaves
Oh,
the thing on.
jeez.
Yeah.
He would leave them on for like literally days at a time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wow. Yeah, my clock for Persona 5 was at 120 hours, and I don't think that is correct. It's probably closer to like 110 or something.
okay.
Question: what difficulty did you play it at?
I played on normal. Just because whenever I'm reviewing a game, I play on normal because we try to,
Do it faster,
I don't know.
maybe.
Not
do
do
it for
it faster. Just give the most, like, this is what most people are going to experience it as kind of perspective, the most common perspective, I guess. And it sometimes, depending on the review and how early we get to go back and try other difficulties. Sometimes I don't. Like Persona 5, I pretty much just played on normal. I didn't really mess around with any other difficulties at all.
That's fair. That's a long game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it. I'm playing it on hard. I played it on hard. I think I'm starting to do every game on hard now because I'm playing Trails of the Sky second chapter on hard, and holy crap, is that hard! But there's some moments where you get surprised.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You get surprised and you're like, well, I lost because the monsters know your weakness and then hit you with it, hit Joker with it once, and then hit you with it again, and you're dead. And the game's over. And you're like, oh, well, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
But that happened to me a lot, but I never got, like, really mad at it. I was like, okay, I deserved that. Let me replay it. Like, at the beginning of...
I deserve to get one-shotted.
Yeah, because I wasn't paying attention, and they surprised me. Futaba's palace is a perfect example. At the beginning, when she traps you and you go down in the pits and you have to climb back out of it.
Did you get surprised there a lot?
I think I replayed it 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Because I would do it and then I'll get to the end and then there's always this one guy that always got me, just popped out of nowhere, hit me, and then I would get surprised and die. And I'm like, really? Come on. And I just played it multiple times. I think it took me like 3 hours just to get out of that place.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's insane.
I also played on hard. And the only time I really... I don't think I've ever actually like gotten surrounded and immediately died. I've always managed to somehow survive being surrounded. What gets me is like I'll surprise like the on fire red guys, right? And I'm like, okay, I got this, but I'll make like I've made one careless mistake and they'll get through. Like I won't kill him when I thought I'd kill him, and I didn't like prepare right, or I didn't put the defense up, or you
didn't check who was going next.
I didn't check who was going next, exactly. And then the guy would be like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to use and for example, Kamoshida's Palace, where you have to like get this key to like finish the last stretch. You have to defeat like a mini boss. He just goes double thing, boop boop, and I just instantly died, and that happened 3 times. I was like, no, but I can do it. Like, I didn't want to, I had no motivation to change the difficulty lower. I was just like, I know I can do this. I'm just not preparing it right.
The mini boss in Futaba's palace, where it's like a big coffin and it like summons like these snake ladies? Is that
the one that turns you into a rat?
Yeah, the one that turns you into a rat.
Squeak!
All right, so that one I had to redo multiple times.
So did I.
What would happen is you would turn someone into a rat and then do Deathbound. This bam! And it would kill everyone instantly. Just
wow.
And I was like, man, I'm just getting really unlucky, aren't I?
I had to defeat that boss 4 times because I defeated it, and I'd go later, and I was trying to get to a safe room, and I think twice I accidentally... Oh, so I did die when getting surrounded. Twice I got surrounded, and then I instantly died. I was like, great, I gotta play that stupid boss over again, and I had to kill that boss 4 times because of just careless mistakes I did. By the end, I learned my lesson.
Taylor shaking your head. It's like, how can you play a game like that? It's like, well, I like feeling accomplished.
So Ben, I'm curious how you feel about this subject. So we were having this conversation before where I don't like difficulty in menu-based games because it like, I'd rather have it be like a skill thing, like in a Dark Souls or like a Mega Man game, where it's like, if you die, it is totally your fault. Like, the way you control your character and the way you're like reacting and stuff like that. Whereas when it's menus, it's like, there's obviously a level of strategy to it, but like that, to me, I don't get the same feeling of accomplishment as I do in more of like a dexterous type of game. Like, do you feel the same way at all, or indifferent, or are you kind of on their side?
I feel very differently because it's taking a different approach in a sort of skill-based or reaction-based game, like you're saying. It's in the moment how you're able to respond and change your strategy on the fly, and that certainly happens with turn-based RPGs. But I like all of the reward comes from how well you prepare. The personas that you fuse ahead of time, how many SP recovery items you have, who you choose to bring into battle. And then seeing how that plays out, and then when it goes perfectly, when it goes just as expected, or when you don't struggle to get through a palace, or you don't struggle with the boss, it's because of that pre-work that you put in ahead of time. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of that personally, but may not be for everyone, I suppose.
So if you could play Persona 5 again, would you, without like any limitations, would you have played it on hard? Yeah,
absolutely. I think so. And it's weird because I didn't have any difficulty at all with Persona 5 until the very, very, very final dungeon, where it was just kind of an onslaught of boss fights again and again and again. That definitely tripped me up a little bit. But until that point, it wasn't too easy. The game definitely pushed back. But yeah, if I do play through again, I will play through on hard, for sure.
I will say, because I just had an instance of this in Cold Steel, I can kind of see where you're coming from, Ben, on the preparation part, because there's this fight in Cold Steel. I'll wrap it back around to Persona 5. But there's this fight in Cold Steel where this boss does this like AoE attack and it confuses everybody. And the only way to combat that is to have items on that prevent confusion. Otherwise, you're just like killing each other and like the fight's impossible. But in Persona 5, I feel like there were so many times like sorry, I guess we're gonna
No, keep going.
Oh, okay. There like I tried it actually. Like there were certain palaces where I felt like it was a little easy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna crank this up. Let me try it on hard. And I can't remember what boss it was. I want to say it was
I think it was the painting one. Weren't you?
It was, yeah. It was the painting one where he's got the 2 eyes and the mustache and the mouth. Yeah, that's right. And I just felt like I tried that fight 4 times on hard, and I felt like no matter what I tried, just no strategy was working. I was putting on different buffs. I was trying to focus in different ways, and I'm just like, I'm having zero fun with this. So I'm just gonna. It had, like you said, Ben, some challenge. But like when it gets so difficult that it just becomes there's just no fun in it for me. So
sure, yeah, I totally get that. With those bosses in particular, I think some are done better than others because there's kind of this. They all have a trick, right? And you have to figure out the trick. They're not standard JRPG boss battles. Like you have to send somebody off and do something. And I think, like I said, I think if the way that they present some of those scenarios isn't super well done, where it's a little bit unclear. I definitely had boss fights in Persona 5 where it was like, wait, what am I supposed to do here? And I just had to fight them several times just to figure out what the game wanted. And so that can be a little irritating.
Like the ballista.
But yeah.
I like how you had trouble with that.
No, okay, so I think the game bugged out on me. All right, I shot the ballista once, It hit her down. Hit Chie down.
Chie down, yeah.
And I attacked her and everything, and then she gets back up. I never got another ballista. I was never able to get another ballista. The game just didn't allow me to do it. And I'm like, what's going on here? And
Futaba just obviously doesn't like you because you don't like her.
No, Futaba sent another ballista, but I wasn't able to send someone to do it. And
that's weird.
Futaba kept saying, "Go use the ballista." I'm like, I can't use the ballista, and I just died. And then the second time I played, then I was able to do it.
That's interesting.
Weird.
You want to continue your point?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna go into the boss fights. I kind of liked how each boss fight had a different like way of approaching it. For like Madarame, you had the paint. And you had to, attack certain pieces of his painting differently. For Kaneshiro, you had your stupid Piggytron. I hated that thing so
that thing
much.
Was so easy.
No, it was really hard.
It hurt so much. But I love the mechanic of, hey, just throw some of your really freaking expensive items on the ground, and he'll suck it up and won't kill you in one hit.
No.
And I'm like, you're going to make me use, a Soma for this? No,
guy. Confusion is the worst because when you're confused, they sometimes throw items away.
Oh yeah.
Every single time they would throw away a Soma, and I'm like,
that sucks for you.
What are you doing?
That really sucks for you.
Come on, that's not fair.
That's hilarious because I kept throwing. I was like, whenever I got confused, it's either throw away cash or here's a devil fruit.
The throw away Soma,
trash
throw away
items,
bead chain, throw away all revive. I'm like, why are you torturing me, game?
That sucks.
I will say there was one boss fight that I enjoyed, like what you guys were saying, like once you figure it out. There's a boss, I think it's actually a mini boss. I don't think it's actually a dungeon boss where they are constantly summoning minions. And I remember, with any boss fight or with any enemy, you just try everything. We're like, are they weak to this? Are they weak to this?
But you knew?
No, I had no idea what it was. And it wasn't until the very last thing I tried, I knew what it was weak to, but by then I was completely exhausted of SP and I just couldn't beat him.
Was it the boss that every time you brought a minion lower and you didn't kill it, it would just blow up and heal the boss?
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that was so annoying
Big
because not only I was whittling him down, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of figuring this out, but then he would heal. I'm like, okay, well now I have no SP left. It's impossible. But I think they ended up being weak to Mudon or whatever, and you could just instant kill him. Damage. And so I'm like, oh, thank God, this boss fight's so much easier now. So it's this sort of this fine balance of attrition where you have to constantly keep them dead, but then you have to watch your SP. So there's those fights where you kind of have to watch what you're doing are interesting, but yeah, some are a little frustrating. Throwing away an item was
Piggytron.
Annoying.
Piggytron.
You could also, you didn't have to throw away an item for that one, because when he'd start rolling the thing, you could attack him, and if you brought him all the way down, he'd fall in front.
The first time you couldn't, though.
Yeah, first time you actually had to just guard.
The one, you know what I noticed? There wasn't poison as a status effect in this game. There was other really random stuff, but there was no poison.
There's burn, electric, frozen, confusion, rage,
despair, sleep.
Sleep.
But yeah, no poison.
Was there poison?
There was
I
poison
definitely know there's poison in 4.
In Persona 4, yeah.
But what I was getting at is that there's a boss fight. I think it's Haru's dad's, the spaceship one, where because it's food, you can get hungry.
I never understood that one.
Because what does that do? It makes
lowers
your items,
offense.
Oh, it lowers your offense.
It just makes because you're so hungry that you're weak that you can't.
Oh, I thought it was. For some reason, I interpreted it as it costs double to cast a spell or something.
That's the final boss.
That's the final boss, Gluttony, which
Gluttony.
Is the worst thing ever.
That's right. Thankfully, I didn't use any of my somas, so I'm like, all right, just full heal everybody, full SP or whatever. It was great.
Do you guys remember the arena in Sei's?
Yeah, where Joker just manhandles a bunch of people alone, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was it really that hard? Because I don't know about you guys. I thought it was extremely easy, but I didn't even attack anyone. I just stood there, and the personas would attack me, and I would repel and kill them instantly.
Okay,
well, because you had that persona, but yeah, it wasn't hard for me. I don't remember that being particularly difficult.
It wasn't hard, but I did have to use some healing because they would attack me. I'd go to half health and I can't take another attack. There was one group that was weak to light or something, and I had that, so it's just instant kill. Okay. Easy.
I had the persona which was repels gun and physical damage, and then negates curse and fire damage. Jeez. And that's all those personas did was physical and curse damage, so I never got hit. And I just, it was really funny.
Well, I didn't have that. Yeah, but still did it nonetheless.
That's the only, after I made that persona, that was the only one I had. That's the only one I really used until I got Blackjack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting. Me and Nick talked about this earlier in the week, but I think what I really appreciated about Persona 5 is there's more than one of your teammates that can heal. Because in 4, if I remember right, it's only Yukiko. But in this, it's Makoto, Morgana, On.
A little bit of On. On only gets single target, yeah.
But still, I love that because you were almost forced to use Yukiko, which is fine because she's a good character. But I like that there was more flexibility. Not to mention, if you level the shogi player up, you can swap anybody out.
That's required because
it is required.
It is required because the Big Bang Burger boss or the main boss. When he summons all his minions at you, you need to be able to swap out your characters. If you can't, you're gonna lose.
That's funny because I didn't have that and I didn't lose.
Okay. That's crazy. I was thinking when I was playing it, I'm like, how can you do this? It's like you need to pick either the perfect party that have all the weaknesses or not.
Well, I remember, I think, Ben, you mentioned it on a frame trap or something. You're like, the first thing you should do is if you can go to the church, go to the church. And I forget why. I'm like, oh, okay. And I just remember that opened up at some point. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go do that. And then I think 2 levels is when you can swap. I'm like, oh, this is why. This is the best ability in the game.
you need it so much. You guys actually touched upon 2 things that I think from a mechanic standpoint that Persona 5 does really, really well compared to past games. Is there was no character that I could completely write off like I could in past Persona games. I would find a crew and just kind of stick with it. But I think everybody, at first I was like, Yusuke isn't being that useful for me, or Ryuji's not being that useful, or On's not being that useful. I think the way that they throw new enemies at you, physical damage becomes really important or very useful, and Yusuke and Ryuji really shine. Later on, On became the most damaging character for me, where she could focus her fire attacks and just do absurd
blazing
amount of
hell.
Damage. And and so I was using everyone pretty evenly by the end of that game, and I appreciated that very much. And just how useful so many of the confidant skills were.
Yeah, for that reason, the fact that you kind of needed to switch every party member out and they're useful at some point is why I think you needed to level Mishima. Because otherwise, if you had a crew for the beginning of the game, the people in your backline would start to fall behind, which is the problem I always had in previous Persona games. That's what I found extremely annoying. When you get to 5, he'll be like, oh, increase the XP your backup members get. I was like, okay, sweet. And at level 10, you get the same amount of XP. So it's
I feel even out before level 10 though, they're pretty generous. Nobody was really greatly falling behind.
Yeah, that's true.
So useful.
Yeah, the Mishima of 5 Talo was just okay, cool.
You're all good.
That's all we needed, really. But
yeah, when I started getting all the side confidants, I was like, man, this game is opening up. Because when I was first playing the game, I was like, man, I really miss switching out my party members in Cold Steel.
It's oh.
I was like, oh, okay. I can now. Thank goodness.
I will say, though, given the option, I always had my main 3 were always Makoto, Morgana, and Haru.
Wow.
Just because they had... Makoto had, you can buff everybody's defense, and then Haru's negating 1 magic or 1 physical. That was so useful. Especially, I would basically cheat, what Nick was saying. I'd have that one persona that could reflect or whatever, nullify physical damage, and then I would always have Haru put up a magic barrier on Joker, and then he was invincible. He would just never take a hit. It was great.
Yeah, my main crew...
Back just a little bit, I do think Makoto, Morgana, and Haru are the absolute best characters in combat. But
yes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Haru has all the gun stuff.
Yeah,
but
that critical, the Morgana physical critical skill, and then the gun critical skill, the Haru, that saved my ass a lot. Mm-hmm. Those skills ended up being useful against bosses that you couldn't knock down any other way.
They're sneaky useful, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember, especially with Haru, I don't remember, there was one boss where it was almost every time I attacked with her, it was a critical hit. I don't know if I just got lucky or they were weak, but yeah, that was useful.
It actually happened once with Yusuke, and it wasn't even a move that was supposed to be critical, but like with Shido, I used Brave Blade on him like 3 times in a row, and each time it critted for like massive damage. I was like, okay, sure. But my main crew usually was Makoto, An, and Ryuji.
So there's one
nice.
there's one thing all in common. We always use Makoto.
Yes, because Makoto is
the best.
The healer. I always kept Morgana in the background because she was like he was my palette like my palace healer. Like as I was going through, every time I get injured, I just go back to go to skills and make Morgana heal my whole party. So I was using his SP instead of my main party's SP.
But if you just press square, it'll do that anyway.
Shut up.
Yeah, can we just take a moment to like applaud the quality of life stuff in Persona 5? Like, just hit square and you can freaking heal your entire party, or like it's not filled with sub menus in battle. It's just like every button is mapped to something, so you're not having to fiddle around in menus and stuff like that. Like,
yes, but one thing that drove me up a wall: why do you have to go out to the main menu and to config to turn on auto dialogue?
None of us had that on, but that's a thing.
Auto dialogue.
Oh, like so instead of hitting X
instead of having to hit X to go through dialogue, in order to have an auto option where it just automatically goes from one line to the next, you have to turn that on in the title screen, where so many other RPGs, you can just hit triangle or something, and it will toggle auto on or off.
Yeah, that is
a bunch of other Atlas games have done that. It doesn't,
That is a weird omission, for sure.
That's interesting. As I go through, this is like Nick's pet peeve for me, I guess, is as I'm playing through games, sometimes I'll read faster than the characters acting out their lines, and if they'll be talking and they have like one word left, but I've already read it, so I'll hit X quickly. So like
that all the time.
They'll be talking and they'll stop, and Nick's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I know what they're saying already." You know,
hurts me so much because it's like, so we're gonna do and then we're gonna go stop it.
They don't go every time, just so you know.
That's what I hear.
I'm on your side though, because you're just trying to save time.
Thank you.
Already read it. Let's go. Let's get moving.
Maybe that's why I have so many more hours.
Maybe you actually just sit there and listen to their
everything.
yeah.
Especially in Berseria, Maddie, that was making me
sorry.
mad.
Oh, you would have hated me. You would have yelled at me playing Horizon, because at the end of the game I was just trying to finish up like some side quest trophy, and literally was just like click click click. I don't care what you're saying. Okay, done. Thanks. Bye.
But I thought like the side quests, no one cared what they're saying.
Yeah, but for the most part, some were good, some were not. Anyway, Persona.
Well, back to me not using Haru. I didn't use Haru's amazing gun skills because I leveled up the kid all the way, so my gun was like literally the best thing out there.
The grenade launcher. She has like the best combo of like weapons. She has a grenade launcher and a giant axe.
I can't believe she has a giant axe.
It is pretty amazing. Although Makoto just beating fools down and having that motorcycle persona is pretty good too.
Too bad for like the last, I don't know, third of the game she didn't have that motorcycle anymore. She had like a transformer instead.
Oh, if you like leveled a 10
to 10 and her persona levels up, it's no longer a motorcycle.
I wonder what the Captain Kid turns into.
Probably just turns into Jack Sparrow, probably.
Oh, okay.
That'd be awesome.
It's just Johnny Depp.
It's just
Johnny Depp.
They're not even trying to be subtle.
It's his voice, yeah. They got him.
Yeah.
Persona. Wow, that really got Maddie. I didn't expect that.
That was a really good imitation of him. Oh, sorry.
That was
a good imitation.
Well, I just watched some weird video. Apparently, like Jack Sparrow or Johnny Depp,
went to Disneyland.
Yeah, he went to Disneyland, and they like took the animatronic guy out, and he was just there being Jack Sparrow, which is kind of crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh man.
I was gonna say that about Persona, but I totally forgot.
It's okay. Party members, Haru and
guns.
Guns are best.
Captain
weapon.
Kid, what they look like after level 10. I don't know.
I will say Yusuke, I thought he was the weirdest freaking guy at first. I didn't like him. I was like,
weird.
You're annoying. Like, what are you saying? Like, stop. And he really grew on to me throughout the whole game. Freaking Yusuke.
One guy that never really
I would say echo that as well. Yusuke grew on me quite a bit and ended up being... He's probably in my top 5. And Haru is somebody that I did not like at first that ended up liking quite a bit.
I don't care about Haru because
I wasn't able to level. I really wanted to, but I wasn't able to.
I felt really. I don't want to ruin her social link for you guys, but one thing I'll say is I think this perfectly sums up like how I feel about Persona 5 versus Persona 4. I think Ryuji as a character, he's super well written, and like what he's trying to do, like that, like they set out to make this really loud, annoying guy, and he's well realized. I just don't like him because sometimes, like, somebody put out a funny little tweet on Twitter the other day about him, like pulling out a megaphone and be like, "Where are the fan thieves?" Exactly. It's like, shut up,
Ryuji.
I can't believe no one thinks we're good. right in the middle of the subway.
Like, how dumb are you?
I kind of liked that about him because he did get us into like Nick said this a while ago. He got us into bad situations, and through that, it propelled the story along.
That's true.
He's the reason why Makoto found out we were Phantom
That's
Thieves.
true. That's the reason we have Makoto, dude.
Well, one thing you can't say about Ryuji is that I don't think anybody is indifferent to Ryuji. You either really like him because he's all out for what he does, or you hate him because he just ruins everything. But he's very polarizing.
I very much agree with that. Towards Yosuke in Persona 4, like I just don't care about Yosuke.
You don't care about Yosuke?
I don't care about Yosuke.
Ooh.
I don't think he's an interesting character.
But they punch each other at the end.
They do.
Yeah, he just, I don't know. He felt, compared to some of the other characters, like his bickering, like we were talking about the bickering between Futaba and Yusuke and kind of like the way that they talked. By the end of Persona 4, like, Yosuke Teddy argument ever again. Like, I was just so
my
over it.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see that definitely. I just liked Yosuke as a character because they. Okay,
You like it. You like him as the anime.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's the anime. They're like, you know, Yu Narukami and Yosuke together like made a really good combo.
The bros.
Bros. Yeah, but that's anime, not game. So yeah, you're right.
And I like Junpei.
I love Junpei.
Stupe.
He was like Ryuji, except he has an awesome character arc. What's her name?
It's Chin. I don't.
Chidori?
Chidori. Yes.
Yeah. So Chidori, that whole aspect of the story was awesome. In Fez, she comes back. By the way, if that's what you're worried about.
Spoilers.
It's fine. No, I played Fez. I literally got to the end and couldn't beat the final boss.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, you had to do something, and because I remember I was talking to Maddie about it, and I was like, "Yeah, she comes back." She's like, "No, she doesn't."
No, she doesn't. She sacrifices her life.
And I'm like, "No, she comes back at the end, and she like doesn't have her memory or something like that."
That's why, because I didn't beat it.
Well, before the final boss.
Oh, okay.
Guess you gotta do something.
Yeah, you had to do something with Junpei.
Isn't she a robot like I guess or something weird?
No,
No,
she's
that's
Strega.
something else.
She's Strega.
Oh, Strega. Okay. Yeah, a lot of that game is very hazy for me. I beat it a long time ago.
I really like the story in 3. I really like.
It is a good story.
They leave
the movie is great.
Yeah, they leave it open. I have a feeling that all these games are going to converge into something. Like
we're gonna get the P3 protagonist back, everyone.
Well, we did in Q.
That's
Arena
not
2.
canon.
No,
he's not in Arena 2.
Isn't he?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. You're right. It's just
Chidori.
Q.
Like 10 years from now, we get the Persona Historia that reveals the official
Oh man,
Atlas timeline and connections, and
I'll buy that in a heartbeat.
What's canon?
there's 3 different paths.
That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be great. But Persona 5.
Yeah.
I see your Ryuji point though. Yeah, definitely. It's like he was kind of he's not
he's kind of one tone, but he's well written one tone.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't get that same like kind of best friend connection.
Except at the end when he's like, "This is not fair! God damn it!" He's like punching the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty mad.
He was pretty. So was everybody else. So was me. So was I.
Okay.
I was mad.
Yeah, that really made me mad because I beat the game like finally, and we're gonna have some fun times with all the guys. We're gonna be able to go out on Christmas Eve and Valentine's Day and New Year's Day. There's gonna be these awesome scenes. Oh, you gotta turn yourself in and get arrested. What? Why can't this guy get a break?
Seriously.
That ending though.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, Ben. So So we all talked about this, but the moment when Akechi shoots Joker, what was your immediate thought when that happened? Like, did you think it was all a ruse, or did you think like, oh, did I screw up?
Well, did you get the right thing first?
Did I get the right thing first?
Because you can fail that part.
You could actually die if you did say the right thing.
No, I didn't die. I didn't.
I died.
It's because you're an idiot and you sold out your friends.
I don't know what.
Right. You have to. Yeah. No, I just didn't sell out my friends. Yeah. That's what happened.
Don't sell out your friends, and everybody wins.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that since you trusted me now, that I'm going to tell them like these are the people. Can you help me? That's what I thought.
Never sell out your friends.
But then, yeah, that happened, and then the whole thing happens, and you get shot in the head, and you go to the Velvet Room, and Igor's like,
you died.
"Oh, you're dead. Humanity fell into ruin. Game over. Credits."
I knew something was up based on how they framed it. That there was no way that you were going to die right there, but I hadn't pieced it all together with how they pulled off that elaborate plan with the metaverse and the phone.
I couldn't believe that plan.
Okay, so I died and I did it over again, right? And it happens again, and I'm like, did I do it wrong again? What am I supposed to do? But then it continues.
And then Ryuji's like, got him.
Yeah, Maddie had the greatest reaction to that scene. We have it recorded.
I recorded it because based on suggestions from them.
Yeah, it is the greatest reaction, and I think we're going to put it on to the edited version of this podcast. Because it's so funny.
Because when me and Nick both played that, we're like, we got to get Maddie to record this.
Yeah, because we know how she reacts to
things. I get very invested in my games, especially my main characters, and how I feel about Joker. So, yeah. I don't know if you want me to explain my reaction, but
I want to. You can explain it, but I want to show Ben after we're done recording.
Absolutely. But so I'm kind of calm, and I figure out I didn't like Akechi from when he joined our team because he was a smug, like was always one-upping Joker, and I was like, "Yo, you can't do that. That's Joker. Like, stop, you asshole!" Right? But I didn't piece it. A long time ago, I thought maybe he's the mask guy, but I kind of went to the back of my mind.
Oh, before that, do you remember when the broadcasting? I was watching it with you, and I was like, "Hey, who said pancakes?" And it was Morgana, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, you're right."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yeah, there's something up with this guy."
Yeah, there's something up. Yeah, so like, we knew Akechi was off, right? But it kind of was gone. That part of it went to the back of my mind because I was more involved in like I got to catch up to the timeline, because that's when you catch up to the timeline. So when the whole thing, like you're piecing it together, you get all your memories back in the interrogation room, and I'm screaming Akechi because that bastard betrayed me. I have that recorded too, but I'm not going to show that. But the whole thing happens, and he comes in and he shoots you in the head, and the angle they do where just blood comes down his face, I assumed he was kind of like summoning his persona or something. Like I thought something was like I was like, he's not gonna die right now. He's done something, right? And then he plops to the table, blood everywhere with a bullet in his head. And I was like, that's when I started screaming.
What?
I screamed what 3 times. What? And then I started crying.
Yep.
Did you have a similar reaction to the Igor reveal? Because that was the big bombshell for me, where I like stood up and
Okay, funny story. Okay, so in our first first podcast with Persona spoilers, we had like a little mini one for the first 2 dungeons. Taylor was like, "There's something off with Igor. I think he's gonna turn into like the main boss or something because his voice seems too different."
He said his voice is like something more than just a voice actor change. It's too different.
Yeah.
It's like So as soon as I went to the Velvet Room, honestly, and he was the whole disintegration part like freaked me the hell out. Yeah. And then I went to the Velvet Room, and he's like, "Oh, you failed. We got to kill you." I'm like, "That's not Igor. That's not Igor. This is him. This is the god." Yeah, so I did have like a wow moment, but like I already kind of pieced it together. So I didn't freak out as much. I was like, this is well written, more like I was like, this is good.
I was like,
this is a good twist right here.
The first thing I was like, Taylor was right.
Yeah. It's like Taylor did it.
That's awesome. So wait, so Ben, you said you stood up when that happened? Like it was
when you meet the real Igor and it's a different voice actor, I was like, aha, well done. And especially since there was all that controversy with the new voice, and then having it change as it did, I thought was, I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. It worked for me.
I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, so because you thought it was like, why does Igor have the Fool Arcana? That doesn't make any sense.
I said that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has the Fool, because the Fool Arcana is usually tied to, like, your group, the investigation team, the C's group. So you'd think it'd be tied to the Phantom Thieves, but it's tied to Igor, and that's just off.
Because he doesn't. Does he even have a social link in the last game?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Yeah.
You always had a social link with, like, Elizabeth or Margaret. Oh, not with Elizabeth, with Margaret, at least.
No, you had one with Elizabeth, too.
No, you didn't have
Oh, Elizabeth.
You had like, a thing with Elizabeth. Was it a social link?
I thought it was... Okay, whatever. But you also have...
Going and taking Elizabeth out on a date.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah. But there's also the Twin... I really wanted to get the Twin Wardens all the way up, but then I kind of lost focus because the game picked up more. And I was like,
Leveling them up is hard.
I got Twin Wardens to 6.
Jeez.
And that's another part of the reason why the Igor reveal wasn't, and the Twin Wardens like kind of betraying him or like realizing it wasn't as big to me, because throughout their social link, at least as far as I got to it, they have this list and they're reading off personas you should fuse, and they're all like, but our master didn't write this. Like, they're getting confused that Igor doesn't seem to be quite right. Like, they seem to have they're full of doubt. And, Caroline, the one that's, this is what our master wills. Just do it. Read off the list. And Justine's just like, I don't think this is weird kind of deal. But they're not sure, and we all know why. Huh. But, like, I already had those clues. Like, they weren't gonna kill me as soon as, like, I went down and, the fight happened. I knew it wasn't gonna happen.
And then you had to kill them to fuse them.
Yeah, you do.
Brutal.
But yeah, that's why that moment I don't think hit as hard as it would have if I didn't do the Twin Wardens as much as I did.
Because I don't think I did that at all. Like,
I got one, and then I couldn't find a Shiza, and I was done.
Yep, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go back try to hunt for the old personas.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about it until, I don't know, not too deep into the game, but a ways into the game where I was like, oh, right, you can level them up, and this is how you do that. And then I just let it go.
Yeah.
I was wondering where Margaret went, actually.
Margaret went to...
Where's Margaret? Because the reason why Margaret replaced Elizabeth is because Elizabeth left.
To help, yeah.
So I was like, where's Margaret? Well, okay, in Persona 2, you've played Persona 2 and 1, right?
Me?
Yeah, you. We haven't.
Yes,
right.
I've played Persona 2 and 1.
There's a Velvet Room in there, right?
Yes, there's the Velvet Room.
Who's...
Theodore.
Is it still Igor and, like, an assistant?
It's Igor...
Wasn't one named Theodore?
I think that was only in Q. I can't remember.
We might have lost
Ben. Did we lose Ben?
No, I'm here. I'm just
okay.
trying to think about, like, who your attendant is in there. Okay.
I was just thinking.
Big mystery.
Yeah.
So in Persona 1, you have Igor, Nameless, and Belladonna. Yeah, and then Nameless and Belladonna are in Persona 2 as well.
Okay.
So
then Elizabeth comes out
I
of
had
nowhere.
completely forgotten all of that, to be honest with you.
It's all good. I was just trying to think of, like, does it actually change every time? So Elizabeth is just searching for main protagonist of 3.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that to come into light.
Well,
that sets up something.
It's going to be in Persona 5 Arena, right?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Persona 5 Racing. That's a Persona 5 art.
I'm gonna mention the little that part where Igor comes out and is just like, I'm actually the god the whole time, ha ha ha, and then the real Igor is like, oh, I've been in prison for a while. Pleased to make your acquaintance. By the way, the rest of your team is in the Velvet Room. Go save them. I was like, I liked that part.
Yeah. I have to go.
That was pretty cool. Like, I get that some people will probably not like the fact that you had to go to each and every one of them and be like, okay, yep, you're depressed. Wake back up. We still have a world to save, to each and every one of them. But I still kind of liked the moment they had. And I liked the fact that the whole team was in the Velvet Room and knew what the hell the Velvet Room was. And
you tell them.
Yeah. Well,
you have to tell them. It's like, where are we? And then it's like, oh, it's the
Velvet Room. You can, or you could just be all like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like in the other games, you never really introduce your team to the Velvet Room. They're just like,
Why are you standing there for odd
amount of time, just blankly staring into space?
They say that in Persona 5.
They do. But I like the fact that they explained the whole game thing. They explained who, I was about to say Akira, Joker is, and they know the Velvet Room. They know who Igor is. That's the first time they really did that, where the whole team knew what the Velvet Room is and what was kind of happening, I thought that was cool.
Here's the question. Who the hell is Igor?
I don't know. Who cares who Igor is?
I want to know.
Outside of... Oh, man, I can't think of his name. The butterfly. He's the only recurring character in every Persona. Nyarlathotep. Is that how you say it, Ben? Something like that?
Nyarlathotep? What are you talking about?
He's
the butterfly.
He's the guy that gives you your Persona powers in 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think you're thinking of Philemon. Philemon?
Oh, maybe that's...
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the person who gives your personas.
You're right. Nyarlathotep is like the guy he's fighting against, I think. Or he's some evil god guy.
Of course, the evil god, always there.
There's always yeah. Nyarlathotep is the other side of that. The chaos side to... Yeah. He, how it's going is... Anyway, he's seeing if humans can be enlightened beings. That's what the Persona Wiki is saying.
Got it.
But yeah, he gives you your persona.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I was talking to my good buddy Austin Yorsky, he's a big Persona fan as well, and he was saying that Philemon is in the other games simply as the butterfly. Even I think that's one of the first things you see at the beginning of the game is the little purple butterfly or the blue butterfly that flies by.
But isn't that supposed to be...
Are you talking about Persona 5 now?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be Lavenza, isn't it?
No. Purple butterfly is that recurring character.
Oh.
It's it's like the voice of the Velvet Room. I don't know what it was. Because at the very beginning of 5, when you're being interrogated and you're about to go into the flashback, it's just you have a chance to avoid ruin, and the butterfly, he's looking at the butterfly flying across the screen, and that occurs in 4 and 3. So
he just doesn't show up as a person.
But the voice was Lavenza, wasn't it?
If it was a female, then probably. I just think that's the physical thing of the Velvet Room, the contract,
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think it was Lavenza's voice coming through.
Screaming children outside. Actually, we actually kind of already went over this, but a Twitter question was how did you feel about the twist with the traitor from @Jace2Game again?
I couldn't believe it.
I didn't like him. Well, it was weird. I never liked Takeshi. He always seemed like he had something up his sleeve. I didn't catch the pancakes part that you guys were talking about, but he just always seemed a little smug, a little too sure of himself. I'm I don't like him. But then the thing that kept throwing me off is he's on the cover. I'm why is he on the cover? Because the only other characters that are on the cover are your party members. I'm why is he there? But then he she blackmails you to bring you in the metaverse. I'm he's a party member? This is weird. I definitely didn't see that coming. But I didn't think he would be that
but he was
dastardly to want to kill everybody.
He was this game's Adachi because he could have multiple personas.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that the betrayer moment was the betrayer moment itself, where you actually get shot and then it's a whole ploy. That part was I was in shock for the whole 2 hours that was the whole story being explained to you, because the 30 minutes that happens and then next hour and a half is basically your party members explaining the whole thing to Sai
with
and
funny drawings.
Sojiro with funny drawings. Yeah, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Our hero, our leader is probably just sitting in the Velvet Room all smug, and it's just a picture of him two peace signs smiling.
And it's really funny because he was actually smug.
Yeah.
In that part.
Hell yeah, dude, Joker. Yeah. But when you actually fight a Adachi, wow. When you actually fight Akechi, and he's like explaining exactly what he did, I'm just like, you're Shido's son. Like,
yeah.
You could make people's hearts do this. Like, you were only doing this for like attention. Like, what? I couldn't believe it.
And then Shido's like, "Oh, I knew all about that. I don't care."
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew that. I know this research well enough to create a cognitive version of yourself to kill you in case you ever stepped out of line in my palace.
Whoa.
I'm just like, mind blown.
Yeah, he was just he always was like annoying to me. Whenever I think one time, right before we go into the palace, or right before the culture festival, when he tells you that he blackmails you, he's in LeBlanc.
He's in Block several times.
I know, but this time he was in LeBlanc, and he's like, "Oh, welcome." And then you have like a questions like, "Oh, I'm here." It's like, or what are you doing here? Or I'm home, honey.
I'm home, honey. I chose that one. I'm home, honey.
I was always mean to him. Like there was always an option of like get out or leave, or why are you here?
How do you respond to that? I'm curious.
He's like, you're so rude, or just him being all smug,
the catchy style. At the beginning, I thought he was gonna be like a friend, to be honest. Like, I hated his characterization. He's smug, so,
He's opposite Joker.
But, like, I thought he was going to be a friend, and then he's not. And I'm just like, that's why I was kind of nice to him, because I was like, you kind of know, like, you could be my friend, maybe? And then that whole thing goes down.
Yeah,
and I was
but then they
whoa.
say at the end, like if different circumstances,
we could have been friends. Why couldn't I have met you a couple years earlier?
Yep. What about you, Ben?
I've thought a lot about Akechi. I think the biggest storytelling failure in Persona 5 is Akechi for me, because I liked what they were trying to do with it, because you have these kids who get this incredible power to change people, to change really bad people. And in the beginning of the game, they're so convinced that they're doing the right thing, and that okay, this person is absolutely evil. Let's go. Let's do this. And with Akechi, outside of Futaba, which is its own different thing, Akechi is the first person where they encounter where they're fighting and they're really doubting themselves. They're like, wait, this person has been manipulated. We've spent this entire game fighting against people who manipulate others, even though he's against us. Like, are we doing the right thing? But I feel like you learn about... I don't think the relationship between Akechi and Shido is developed enough. Like, all of that stuff, what's going on with him, how he's just trying to prove himself to Shido, it happens so quickly that none of it, like, registers or makes you care. And it's kind of like you guys were talking about. Up until that point, he's just kind of this smug jerk. And so I think it just could have been presented in a better way. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I feel about Akechi.
A lot of info does drop like at the last second, and then before you know it, he's gone. And it's like, okay, really? Wow.
Well, that's actually a good segue to our next Twitter question: is thoughts on the pacing of the final act from @BenGracia. And that, because you know how it all happens really quick, because right after that it's just the end of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Nick, you and me were sort of on the same page. Like it all wraps up. It's Christmas Eve, and then Sai comes along. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to arrest you." I'm like, "You can't be serious! Like, really? Like, you're gonna do this after all that? We just like literally saved the world, and you're gonna arrest me?" Like, I was mad. I'm like, the game can't end like this.
It made me mad.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it's sort of a bit of a red herring in a sense where you have this Christmas thing, and everybody's mad. They're not quite happy with you, and then you're in jail for a month or whatever. It does happen a little quickly, and it's literally the only part in the entire game where time skips, because...
I'm not talking about the exact end. I'm talking about, like, the final part of the game. Like, ever since Shido's palace, that's, like, the last time you're able to buy items. And then it just goes to mementos, and then it goes to the final dungeon, and then the game's
That
over.
part kind of did make me mad. The fact that you weren't able to fully prepare. I went into the last part like really low on items. The only thing I had a lot of was raising people from the dead, at 100%. That's all I had. All my Takometic Z's, or I usually have a stock of 10. I only had 3. I was running out of freaking like brainwashing and confuse items, because a lot of the same kind of ailments were being used. And it did give me a chance to stock up on those.
But Morgana said in the end of the Shido ones, like, you got to prepare for the final act.
Give me my Morgana.
He did say that.
He did say that. You're right. I underestimate it.
I didn't expect it either.
I didn't expect it. I kind of like the fact that it was something you didn't expect. It just, Yep. Just a little fast.
What is nice though is Lavenza can fully heal you. Like
it wasn't Lavenza.
It was Lavenza at the end, and it was the twins, Caroline,
right.
for Mementos.
I'm saying specifically like the very last part, because when you're going
I never used that, by the way. I went straight through until the end.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know you could.
I used it like 3 times because I ground a little bit in there.
Oh yeah, I literally had to grind 10 levels. But on my way up to the final boss fight, every time I hit a mini boss, I would just get I would almost die because I was just under leveled, I guess. Oh. And so I would beat a mini boss, go back, heal, beat the next mini boss, go back and heal, and then I'm just like, man, I'm getting a lot of levels, so I would just kept grinding. But yeah, like I think, I don't know how I worded it to you, Nick, when we were texting, but it was something like there's no time to catch your breath. Like you literally finish one dungeon and then you go right to the next one.
And then you go right into the next one after that.
Yeah, which is very Persona-like. They're usually you get some time in between to do the social link stuff, but
because what I thought was going to happen was when you first met the god and he was kept healing and you're like, well, I can't do anything, and then he's like, well, now it's time to merge with the real world, and you get teleported back to the real world and everything starts merging. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be the time where like the fog is in the town or the cult is there, and we get to spend some time grinding and trying to figure out how to defeat this god. And you slowly see the world like changing around you. No one notices except for like your confidants, and then people start to notice, and people are disappearing.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen, but no, it's like, oh, we're here and final dungeon time. Oh no, wait, you disappear first.
We're here and suddenly we're all in pain, and oh god, people are disappearing, and time the Igor said we should die, so
yeah,
rebellious will.
That's what that's like. Well, it's going way too fast. That's what I thought. What about you, Ben?
Thematically, I kind of like it. I thought they were building up to Shido pretty well. And then the twist with Igor I thought was cool, and kind of rallying your friends within the Velvet Room. I liked all of that, and then kind of revisiting and seeing the old people that you stole their hearts from, how they're in this dungeon and the state that they're in. I liked all of that. I do agree with the sentiment that it was kind of palace a little bit too quickly. The end was a little bit of a slog where that stuff could have been spaced out a little bit better. Especially since the very end, it's just kind of big fight after big fight after big fight after big fight.
Your mic keeps cutting out, so if we sometimes...
Oh, my mic keeps cutting out?
Yeah. It's
oh, that's weird.
I think it's your silence tolerance that's doing that.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, how it's automatically catching your voice.
What did you not get?
You said palace, and then it kind of stopped right there.
Oh yeah, it was like big fight after big fight, yeah.
Yeah, I can say that again real quick. I do think it was kind of the final palaces were a little bit too stacked on top of each other. That's what I was trying to say. A lot of big fights very, very close together, and that kind of became a little bit of a slog, I think. And so in that sense, I didn't love the pacing, but I liked the final showdown with Shido. I liked the building just floating on the sea and all that stuff. I like the twist with Igor. So I don't know. I'm up and down with it. In terms of like exploration and dungeon design, I don't think it's very strong, but there was some storytelling stuff that I very much did like.
Yep.
I totally called when you're in the depths of Mementos and people keep talking about this quarantine cell, where it's just like the most dangerous like inmates in there, and I'm just like, that's probably Joker. Like I kind of expected a cognitive version of him or something like that, but I guessed right away that it was gonna be you. And then when it was actually the Velvet Room, I'm just like, I was right. Yeah, made me kind of laugh.
I think you called the ending.
I called the ending too. So how do you guys like the ending? I called it the throw off the glasses moment. They made the great seal moment. Yeah.
They made the real end. They made the ending like the true end, like exactly like the true ending of 5 or 4. So you get all powerful and you're like, be gone.
Well, there was that. It was kind of like 4's true ending where you get beat down. It's like you basically lost.
Yeah.
This is how this is why I kind of called it the way I did. When that happened and the god's like, yeah, the masses don't care about you, I mean, it was like, the masses are suddenly going to start caring about them, and that's going to give them the power to stand up, and we're going to win like that, huh? Like, that's probably going to happen. And I turn to Nick, and Nick just smiles. I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens. And that's exactly what happens. I'm just like, yeah, I'm right, and it feels so good.
And you see all your level 10s saying, yeah, you believe in the fight.
Yeah, Mishima's just like, what's wrong with you guys? They've been fighting for us this whole time. I'm just like, yes, thank you. And when everybody
every level 10 that you've leveled up is there. Except
everyone starts cheering for you. And the whole, pull out the gun. Like, guns, man. Guns are great. But you pull out the gun and you say, be gone. Best moment.
What's this?
So good.
It's a pretty incredible moment.
That
you just blow a giant bullet hole in a god's head. It feels pretty good.
Yeah, right? How do you like it, Taylor?
Awesome. I don't know. So are you talking about like the actual end, like destroying the metaverse, or like the part where they're all in the van driving?
The destroying the metaverse right now.
I'm having a hard time recalling exactly what happened, so it's not as memorable, I guess.
It's pretty awesome. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. And then right after, like everything, like they come back and then like the world's still all messed up. And they're like, "What's going on?" And then everything turns all like starts glowing. And then Morgana
the Morgana part.
The
Morgana part was so sweet because I just love the fact that Joker showed the connection between them, because Morgana's been living with him for almost a year, and the fact that he's disappearing, he just steps forward and puts his hand out and then puts it down, and it's just like, oh,
he's not like looking at him and smiling, going.
He doesn't have the glazed look of just yeah.
That was a bummer. I was hoping for a Teddy-like outcome for Morgana, but I think that would have been a little too on the nose. I think if they did it again,
like comes back as a human.
Yeah,
he's still alive. He's a cat now.
But I was hoping it'd be a human.
Oh, okay.
Because the whole time Morgana's like, oh, I'm not a cat, I'm a person or whatever. But
would you rather have a human friend or a talking cat?
I honestly I liked the talking cat. When Garth strolled back in, I was just like, yes.
I like how in your
Ben, what are you gonna say?
I loved at the very, very end where Morgana's fixing the car.
Oh my god!
And he's got the screwdriver like in his mouth, and he's using his tail to try to repair it.
And he's like, "Why do I have to do this?"
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I like it. It's just like, I just stole a spark plug. We're all good, and the people that were trying to tail you could start their car.
That's funny that they're actually still being followed.
Yeah. Okay? You want to talk about like the actual ending now?
No. I like. I'm still talking about Morgana.
Okay.
In your romantic Valentine's Day, he walks by Futaba and goes, me. I thought that was really funny. Mine didn't happen. He just walked right by.
I like Sojiro's response of just like, so you taking a girl out? And then Futaba walks in and you walk forward and he just looks. He's just like, I
guess I'm gonna leave now.
Well, you guys don't get too caught up in the mood. You hear me? And then walks out and just like, yes.
I think the thing that always gets me is the smug walk that Joker does when he walks forward. He's like,
pocket.
It's like,
hands in his pocket. It's like,
this is my girl.
How was yours?
Pretty much the same thing happens. Miss Kawakami comes in, and Sojiro's like, Miss Kawakami, like confused, and Joker just walks up, in the smug walk, and then she's like, a teacher and a student, huh? This really happens in real life?
Ooh.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave I'm gonna leave the store for you. Have fun, and then just walks off.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Ben, who'd you go out with?
I went out with Futaba.
Okay, you went out with Futaba.
You all had the same. You all had the same.
Okay.
Or it's like, me sit near, yeah?
Me. I love it when she gets so emotional she can't speak right.
It's just like it's weird because it's like a little kid. Like
she's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Kawakami was like all embarrassed and saying, "Can I sit next to you?" And it's like that makes more sense. And she gives me a chocolate that's shaped like a heart, not a cat.
That's what sells it.
And then
chocolate shaped like Morgana.
And she's like, "I bought a microwave just to make this," and you say, "That's amazing."
for three levels.
Yes.
So I don't think anybody else had this happen to them. Ben, tell me if you had this happen to you. But for me, so on Valentine's Day, I hang out with Futaba. The next day, Makoto comes by and she's like, "I saw you with Futaba last night," or whatever, and she got like
that happened to me with On.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So wait, what did On do? Now I'm curious.
Was it voice acted?
No.
Okay.
It was the exact same thing where she's like, she's all upset that you went out with Futaba. She comes in, she's like, I got she knocks you over, and Sojiro's like, you're getting yourself into trouble. Like, he gives you a little talk. I don't remember the exact lines in the game, but yeah, Anna's just upset. I think she like got a gift for you, and then
you didn't get the
like throws it at you or something like that.
Oh, wow, man.
That's so much better than the Persona 4 ones, because I remember on my second playthrough Persona 4, I went out with every girl, and you get to choose who you hang out with. And I remember the next day, all the girls, every single girl, I'm pretty sure, comes up to you and says, or not at the same time, but and she's like, "I'm your girlfriend, and you're supposed to spend time with me on these special days." And like, every single one. I just love how it's way more intense for you guys.
Well, so with me for Makoto, I like genuinely felt bad because Makoto was like, "You're gonna make a fool of me. I know I'm not experienced in love, but why would you make a fool out of me and stuff like this?" And then I don't know if it doesn't show Joker getting knocked down, but he's just like literally face down on the floor. And then Sojiro's like, "Hey, I had to lie to her for you, so don't do that again," or something. But yeah, I love that they do that. Because at first I'm like, it's fine, I can date everybody, it's no big deal. And I'm like, they actually
no, they care.
Came back around with that.
Not dated anyone in multiple people in Persona 4 at all?
I don't remember, because I originally played the PS2 version. I started with Yukiko, and then I changed to Rise, but I don't remember Yukiko coming back or whatever. But then in the Golden, I just stuck with Chie the whole time.
That's why when I started going out with Kawakami, I just stayed that because I knew what was going to happen. And it's like, I don't want anything bad to happen to.
I don't want to deal with that right now.
Yeah, that's for next playthrough.
Sorry, I was just laughing because what was coming to mind, Ben, you were talking earlier about how you're playing up the Chie thing. I was remembering the Easy Allies like debut video where you like take the poster
down and say I failed.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And then you just have this like genuine smile bring it back up. You're like, yes, this is awesome.
Are you gonna replace that?
Somebody did a thing. I think I did something good, or we had some sort of success in something, and they did a reverse of that where I put the Chie back on the wall.
Nice.
Backwards, it was nice. It's funny.
I think
you gotta change that to Futaba now.
Yeah, you gotta get a Futaba scroll.
Yeah.
I'm giving you already have my Joker bag.
I know, I need more Joker things.
That bag has a lot of story to history.
It. Yeah, that was, what was that, PSX? Where everybody's like, where'd you get that?
Yeah, 2015 PSX, I was wearing that. And everyone's like, "Where's the Persona 5 booth? Where is it? Where is it?"
It's like,
I just have this bag. Thank you.
Sorry.
And then it was there. And then all you got was a picture with Morgana. Oh wait, there was another bag there that I didn't get.
You fool!
You had to wait in line for Morgana, and you remember how long that line was.
Yeah, it was long. No, I think the line for Morgana was longer than the line for Sonic.
Yeah, no one cares about Sonic.
Sonic.
Didn't the Persona 5 line take over the Sonic line?
Yeah, that was really funny. They like clearly underestimated what.
Yeah, like all the Atlas people are like, we didn't expect it to be this popular. It's like, it's Persona 5. It's going to be this popular. Hopefully, with all the sales.
And it's at I think people read the room wrong at PSX because they're like, yeah, Call of Duty. It's like nobody that likes Call of Duty is at PSX. And we all care about the weird niche stuff. So anyway,
do we?
I think we do.
Oh, what's another? There's another Twitter question that says, "What part of the story had a big impact on you?" From @Saru245.
I don't know. I think we all
I know
pretty much mentioned it, but I'll just real quick. I think one of my the moment that stood out to me the most was when Makoto awakened to her persona, because that was more just like a personal thing. Because I feel like I could relate to that. But nothing. I'm trying to just think of specific moments, but that's kind of the one that sticks out more than anything else. Or like, there's some really funny moments, like when Futaba first joins the party, and like everybody's like, okay, we're gonna like hang out with her and try to socialize with her, and she's wearing that big dumb head or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was kind of silly and fun.
What was the question? What stood out to you? What moment stood out to
What
you?
had a big impact on you? We already know, we have video evidence of it.
I mean, that had a big impact on me, but I'm gonna say the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, you really liked that.
That beginning, you don't know how close I was to that TV. Like, I was staring, I was just like, what's happening? Like, as soon as, because the game launches right into it, and I was like, okay, they're in their clothes. I didn't know anything, so I assumed that they're real clothes, right? So I was like, oh, he's just in his like costume. Maybe this has been happening for a while, so he can't use his persona. He immediately uses his persona. I'm just like, wait a second, what?
That is actually a huge part, like for the whole, before we got to the final part, figured it out, is how is there real people and cops in a metaverse?
Yeah.
And I was like, and that confused the hell out of me at first. I'm like, what? What's going on? Is this real world? Is this real life?
Yeah, that's why like I thought it was real life, because it was a casino and it looked, everything was real, and then suddenly there were shadows and I'm fighting with a persona. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but this is awesome. And you hop around the chandeliers, you suddenly get introduced to this hiding mechanic. I was like, this is cool. And then the cutscene happens where you jump through the window, but right before it you just say, see you later. And I was just
Cocky as always.
like, I was like, he said something, because usually I didn't go in expecting the main protagonist to say a bunch of things. He says a lot in this game. You know, he's badass and jumps through a window and then immediately gets caught by the cops and then gets beaten up. And just like that whole sequence, I was like, this game.
And that was all planned.
And yeah, that moment dragged me forward. And then as soon as I hit that moment and knew exactly what was happening, I was just so committed, just like, let's go.
I really like how when you hit that moment in the real game, it just plays exactly the same. Like,
yeah.
This is exactly the same. It doesn't like fast track you through it. It just does the same thing over again.
I appreciated that a lot. So you see it with new eyes.
What about you, Ben?
I think the two moments that really stuck out for me are the whole relationship between An and Shiho. I thought was really good, and sort of the guilt that both of them feel for what they put each other through. I liked that. And Futaba, I thought her agoraphobia was done really well. How they sort of have to give her a long time and spend a lot of days with her and do different things to kind of get her to come out of her shell. I thought that was well presented.
At first it sounded like he said, I thought Futaba's agoraphobia was dumb.
It's like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
No, I love
it. I just remembered another moment when they did their final calling card. That moment.
Oh,
stuck
yeah,
out
where
to
they're
me
on the TV
so
screen
much.
and stuff like that. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The Alibaba symbols going around. I was hoping they would actually show themselves, but I wasn't expecting it. So when the silhouettes of them appeared on screen, I was like, whoa, they're showing themselves. And then when Ryuji actually says something and smacks Joker to the main of the screen, I'm just like, this is good. That moment really.
Isn't that right, leader?
You're just like, yes. The final calling card was definitely like a huge point in the story for me.
Yep. I like that. I was going to go, Master. But no.
Eyes. Master.
No, that part kind of annoyed me. I was like, I was going to like go, what are you doing? Slap her aside the head, you know? But I definitely liked Futaba's story. This, like, the whole part of that game was really good. It's like, you see, can't put it into words. Ben put it into words perfectly for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part, final calling card, and I think the first calling card when you're in the dungeon and the music starts playing.
Oh yeah, that part. When that music started, I was like, whoa.
Like, let's do this.
The first calling card was hilarious though, because Ryuji did it so badly.
He drew it, right?
He drew it, and he worded it really badly.
Did you check the drawings on the chalkboard every time?
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, in the classroom? In the classroom, they always change depending on what part of the story.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yep.
There's so many little touches that you just totally miss.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, like, I don't know why I got a kick out of this. It's so dumb, and it's like the easiest fun thing to localize, but they the way they messed with the DVD names for like the shows. It was like the X folders and like the Running Dead and stuff like that. It was like not so pretty Betty or something or whatever. I don't know. I got a kick out of that every time for some reason.
Give Micker or whatever.
Oh yeah, Guy Mick. It's like, all right, you guys aren't even trying there.
So good.
Yeah, I liked watching. Speaking of details, if you had Kawakami making stuff, infiltration tools,
I had it once,
and you do different stuff in the room, like watch a movie, play video games, her reactions are always different. She's like watching you or like doing or actually making stuff. It's always different. I think the funniest ones is when you're working out and she's watching you work out, and then when you do it like the first time and you're on the ground, she's all like really worried about you on the ground. It's like attention to detail. Love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of attention to detail. Except for it's just like, ooh, we can do this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they needed like at least 2 lines for those test question things.
What was this? Well, yeah. Or not voice.
The Mementos dialogue as you're kind of driving around, like, oh, it's getting really bumpy, or like, do you hear those voices? That got to me.
Yep.
I liked how they repeated some of the same, like, even through the end, actually, some lines got different, but like they would repeat one part of the line and then somebody else would reply like differently.
Because you have more people now?
Yeah. I liked, that was pretty cool. Just, and saying, the road's so bumpy, and Morgana's just like, yes, I feel it. Tender, soft touch of a butt. It's like, oh, Morgana.
So silly.
That cat.
All right. So I have a silly question here. Final Fantasy 15 came out, and now Persona 5 has come out. How do these two compare?
I was the one that sort of proposed this question, but
now you don't want to answer it?
No, I mean, for me, it's really easy, and I kind of have a little bit more to say about this, but I think if you put them side by side, they're 2 wildly different games. I mean, obviously, they're both RPGs, but Final Fantasy 15 is very clearly trying to appeal to more of a Western global audience. I mean, it still has some of the Final Fantasy-ness, but it's open world, it's action, and Persona just continues to lean even harder into what they've been doing with the social links and not big areas. Like when you really think about it, like the areas you walk around in, they're not huge. They're pretty linear even. But I just think as far as execution goes, I just think Persona 5 did what they were setting out to do way better. Like, especially in retrospect, like Final Fantasy 15 story is clearly chopped up and missing pieces and stuff like that. And I would even say, here's the conclusion I've come to after playing Persona 5. I would say, going into Final Fantasy 15, that was my favorite series in gaming. And not that 15 is bad, but it's like, it's starting to climb a hill where I feel like Persona 5 is just continuing on this upward trajectory that started with 3. It's just going up and up and up, and it just keeps getting better. So I would say now Persona is my favorite video game series. Final Fantasy 16 or 7 Remake or whatever comes next, they're really going to have to come back hard and do something amazing, because a lot of the story stuff in Final Fantasy fell pretty flat for me. I like the character moments, but like the moments where clearly you're supposed to be crying or having an impact. It's just like I
just wish there was more story moments in Final Fantasy 15, because I enjoyed the story. You just didn't have the moments you got like in Persona 5.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And for me, like Final Fantasy 15 is always about like towns and exploring, but the towns I didn't really like especially I totally don't remember any of the names, but the kind of Cuban inspired city. Where there's a lot of stairs and you have to like walk around all these alleys and stuff. I thought that was very weirdly designed. And then you can't go to the main city that, Insomnia. I thought for sure you'd go there, but
you do, but it's all destroyed and it's dark.
Yeah, at the end of the game, but like
it's also 10 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which I hated, by the way. I hated that story thing.
Yeah. Fell short right there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What? I just think Persona 5 did what they were trying to do way better than what 15 was trying to do. So
I'm going to go off on a little tangent. I need to know. I remember a long time ago, Ben, you first saw Persona 5, and one of the critiques you had was that the people were all shadows, like shadow people, and they weren't real characters. Now that you've played it, does that still bother you? Just like people in the hub world. Like
the people with no faces.
No faces.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. It doesn't bother me, and I think it fits the theme of the game. Sort of these people that are these mindless sheep that are kind of just living out this life that they really didn't choose. That they're just kind of going through life on a conveyor belt. I like it when you see the salarymen that are kind of faceless, hunched over. No, that doesn't really bother me.
Right. I just remember that a lot from back.
What's that?
I just remember you saying that a while back.
That it bothered me? I don't remember saying that it bothered me.
I don't think it bothered you. It was just that, it was like since it was on the PS4, you wished it was like more detail to them or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, sure. I mean, I guess in some sense, there are definitely times like some of the storefronts in Persona 5 look rough, and there are definitely some dungeons where I'm like, oh wow, these textures feel kind of behind. But as I said in the review, there are so many stylish points, and they make so much of that game just pop that those few like bad technical spots really don't stand out all that much.
And you never got sick of the all-out attack finishers at all.
I know. I'm surprised.
No.
Every single time it happened, I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, because not only they added the whole like character-specific little pose at the end, which I think was kind of neat, and it was always different. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. So loved it.
Yeah, I didn't get sick of it at all, especially considering that you didn't have those individual portraits in Persona 3 or for Persona 4 where like it was always the same thing every time. I thought the character portraits added a lot to it.
I also love how when you feed a battle normally, it doesn't cut to just the character standing there saying, "Oh yeah, all right." It's you're running along as your info is playing, and then you immediately go back into the world. It never broke that illusion.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it just turns around. And Joker's just like looking at the camera.
That's only during mini bosses.
I've had it happen like in really bad battles. Like I've almost died. Like I didn't do so well.
Maybe. But yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's go back to the Final Fantasy 15 thing. Ben, what do you think? Like, how would you compare Persona 5 to Final Fantasy 15?
Okay, so let's start simple and get more complex, I guess. Just by and large, like Persona 5 is a much better game. I would say it's a more consistent game. It's a more coherent game, and I think both thematically and storytelling wise, but also mechanically. Like you were saying, what they set out to accomplish, they did in a much fuller way than Final Fantasy 15 did. But at the same time, you also mentioned that Final Fantasy 15 is going off in this totally new direction, whereas Persona 5 is very clearly building off of the Persona games and the SMT games that came before it. But one thing I think Final Fantasy 15 does do a little bit of a better job of that you guys were complaining about is you wanted more kind of those feel-good moments with your friends. You wanted those bonding moments to happen a little bit more frequently. I think Final Fantasy 15 does a really good job of that. Maybe even a better job than Persona 5. Just a campfire and then having somebody approach you and say, hey, like, will you come do this thing with me? Prompto saying, like, hey, stop the car. I want to go take this picture. The sort of incidental moments where you get a sense of who they are and the brotherhood that these characters share, I think was done really, really well in Final Fantasy 15. Like, I feel like I got to spend more lighthearted time with it.
Yeah. I see that, Tim.
Yeah, you kind of have to seek them out because I remember there were moments like there's a moment where you go and you talk with Prompto and you're like hanging out you're like sitting on top of a hotel roof or something like that, and he was just pouring his heart out. I'm like, whoa, this is intense. Okay. Or
you just say, stop being a crybaby. He's like, well, okay, fine, and he just leaves.
That's what Connor did.
Oh, really?
Connor did that.
And then he complained about it.
That's funny.
Gotta be a nice guy. Yeah, that's okay, man.
Maddie?
I just don't... So, obviously, Persona 5, is better than Final Fantasy 15 for me. The one thing that I hated was at the end of Final Fantasy 15, you come back after 10 years and say, man, we got to catch up. And you don't catch up at all.
Yeah.
And you just head off to the final fight.
It's like, there's
and then you
something
get a little
missing there.
campfire scene. It's like, oh, okay, this is nice. But, like, it never really clicked. The ending never really, like, I don't know. You know?
I mean, it's a problem with Final Fantasy 15 as a whole, where they're just sort of these leaps in the story. It feels like a game that was stitched together rather than just sort of like. It feels like you can feel like they cut so much from that game.
Oh, for sure. They definitely wanted to add more right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
I
Like,
definitely had a very similar feeling with Phantom Pain as well.
Oh yeah, apparently like the last third of that game the game just sort of stops or something.
Well, isn't that like when like Kojima was like, I'm done, and like,
wow.
yeah, it's
Something to that effect. Yeah.
It's like, be sure to play the next episode of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Huh.
That's never gonna come.
But Persona 5's ending just wrapped everything up so perfectly.
All right,
So good. Okay.
let's move forward.
Segue
then.
there.
All right, so you like comparing the Persona 5 ending to the Persona 4 ending.
I like it a lot better.
You like that a lot better.
You like which 5?
For 5 better.
Okay.
So you don't like the very emotional, sad
I
feeling?
the emotional thing was great and all. I mean, I guess they both kind of, no, not really. I don't see why in Persona 4, after having all this happen, right, and you're living with a relative, right, I don't see why you couldn't just say to your parents, I'm just going to stay here and finish high school, right? I'll come back after this, Instead, he's just like, guys, I gotta go. When you could have just said no. Like, I just felt like it didn't need to happen. It only did that just to make that emotional goodbye.
But the same thing happens in 5.
I know same thing happens in 5. I know, that's why I said you could do it both ways. Except for, you're not living with a relative. You were sent somewhere on probation, right? Which is kind of different. And, I felt like he had to go back home in order to fully clear everything, sort of. And the way they ended it with his friends driving him home, and it doesn't even end with them separating. They're together, driving home. I felt
they're not driving home. They went to like the beach or something.
Oh yeah, they're going to the beach or something. Like they're going on a side trip. I just felt like that ended. Like the package was so beautifully like ended, right? It's just like it set up like, yeah, they're separating, they're moving on with their lives. This is good, but like it wasn't like the abrupt like, oh, I love you, I miss you kind of like deal. I was like, they're still gonna be friends. They're gonna see each other pretty often because I feel like he's not leaving that far away.
Yeah, isn't he like a country boy? That's what I heard.
I don't really know.
I think they called him country boy.
I just feel
time.
like it set it up that he was going to visit often kind of deal. Whereas the Persona 4, it kind of set it up as just like they're splitting apart for a while.
I don't think it was country because if you remember the scene with him and Shido at the beginning, he's like in a suburban neighborhood.
Well, Inaba looks like that too, in certain points, and that's like a hick town apparently.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
but it just that's the way I feel about it. I like the way it was ended, the way that the final tone was, compared to Persona 4. And I will say, well, I was affected by Persona 4 more because I felt like I had watched the anime along with me playing the game. So since I knew the characters even better or just as much as I did, that breaking just like tore me apart.
I like watching the golden ending now, knowing that Persona 5 or Persona 4 Arena
and Dancing All Night
happened. And then seeing them now.
Sure.
And it's like, huh, okay.
That's amusing,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
So you act like it's like, oh, we haven't seen you for a while, but what about, the fighting tournament?
We danced and saved Risei's career, yeah. How about you, Taylor?
I still that is the one dividing factor for me is the characters and the story between 4 and 5, and I just connect with the characters on a whole way more in 4. So at the end when he goes home and they're all like, oh, goodbye, and in a way it almost is sort of a little emotionally manipulative because it's like this really sad piano music and they're all saying goodbye and crying and stuff like that. I'm like, That hit me way more. I don't know, especially because, like I said, throughout Persona 4, you're having these more lighthearted moments. It's not all just dread and despair, and are we going to get arrested at any moment and stuff like that. So, and specifically, I don't know if this was in the original Persona or in the PS2 version. I think it's only in Golden, but when they come back later and they're all changed and stuff like
That's
that.
the Golden.
That's Golden.
That's only Golden? Okay. That's what I thought. But yeah, and I kind of like that they do sort of reconnect a little bit. But yeah, I think I like the ending of 4 better. It just it ties the bow on it a little bit nicer.
Narukami, I love you. What?
Yeah.
That's Marie, by the way. Just
Okay.
confused.
Yeah, I thought it was Rise because Rise yells
Rise
it.
yells,
on-
"I love you."
No, at the Golden ending, she's the weather girl.
Oh, she says it
and
online.
she says
yeah.
on live TV, and everyone like stares at him, and he's like, "I don't know."
That's funny.
That's awesome.
They-
Nick?
I don't know. They both affected me the same way. They're both sad endings, and the 5th one just makes you with a little more positive because they're all together, and he's not leaving by himself. And you guys pretty much explained
Both sides.
both sides already.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. One thing that bothers me is that there's no secret boss ending in 5.
There might be.
Or is there?
Or is there?
I'm trying to figure out where it would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Or who? Yeah.
He knows.
Sorry, one detail I really liked with the 5 ending is that there are still people that think you guys are up to no good, and they're still following you. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
not everything is right in the world. There are people who still doubt the Phantom Thieves.
Yeah.
That was a very nice touch.
There's like it doesn't seem like everyone thinks we're heroes or something like. Or we
Yeah.
can go
Right.
wherever we want.
It's basically, it seems to be only the police right now, people in authority, which is hilarious because anyway.
But Sai said everything's fine.
Yeah, Sai's gonna do her best to protect us, so it's fine.
And then didn't she quit becoming a police officer to be a lawyer or something like
No,
that?
she quit being a prosecutor
Became
and
a
Right.
did become a
Oh, the
defense lawyer.
backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that whole thing was a little weird, where it's like, okay, it's time for the adults to do their job. We're gonna make everything okay. It just felt really kind of hand wavy. Like, all right, we did a lot. We went into we went into the metaverse. We changed all this stuff, and we put our lives at risk. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Okay.
It's like I went into your heart and you almost tried to kill us multiple times.
And cheated,
Right.
by the way.
And we never stole her treasure.
No. We don't know what her treasure is.
And how did she have a change of heart?
Because just like Mishima, she
I would
realized.
say she had the notebook. That
Yeah.
was her.
Yeah. She predicted that was going to be her treasure.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually saw it. But just like Mishima, she changed her way of thinking by herself.
Yeah. Good.
Ben,
What?
ending.
Oh, what do you think about the endings? Benaru.
Oh, you guys covered a lot of it. I think I sort of agree with the point that I think Persona 4, in a weird way, because I think you could argue against this as well, I think Persona 4 is a more character-driven game. I think Persona 5 is about its broader themes, and I think Persona 4 is about this group of people in a way. And so I think it is a little bit more emotional. Also, you have the Nanako factor in 4, which is a big part of it. But I do like that it wasn't exactly the same thing. I do like that optimism that it ended on in Persona 5. And so I think I got a little bit more emotional during the Persona 4 ending, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I liked it better.
Yeah, I just remember watching that ending, him driving off, and they're all laughing and giggling, and then it's like the credits start rolling, and their song happens. You're like, "Oh, my heart!"
I like the second part too. When after the cutscene, they're talking about having to, we live our life. We could change the world without having all our powers, kind of deal. And it's like all you gotta do is look at the world a new way. And then he gets up, opens the door, and just sits there and is just watching. And then he stares at the camera, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Sums that up right there. And then even towards the end, they kind of remain true to who they are, because at the very end you have Futaba saying, "Come on, Inari, stupid Inari," and Yusuke is just like, "Okay, that's it, I'm getting out." And you hear the door opening, and everyone's like, "Hey, wait, what are you doing?" Like, they just kept that up even to the very end, and I loved that.
One of the things I loved is that Morgana just went straight into Joker's lap and just sat there.
Yep.
I was like, I would figure you would go into, Anne's lap.
Anne's lap.
Yeah.
On's,
Lady On.
Lady On.
I mean, Joker is who she's living with, so who he's living with.
Yeah, why did we all think Morgana was a girl?
Because her voiced
by a girl? I don't know. It sounds like a girl.
Sounds like a girl. I don't know.
I mean, it is voiced by a girl.
But it's a guy.
I was convinced that there was going to be a twist where Morgana turned into a human and he was a girl.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so did I.
But we're all wrong.
That's
it's
okay.
actually secretly Marie. We just don't know it.
Shut up.
Marie 2.0.
I like the way that ended.
Good endings.
So overall, which one do we like more? The game. We have to pick Persona 4, Persona 5.
Cold Steel.
Ha!
As number 3, yeah, you're right. It's probably third amongst those 3 games. It's a good number 3 choice.
Who are we starting with?
But for number 1 and 2, Nick.
Cold Steel 2 then.
Oh my god.
That's a good number 4,
Cold Steel 1's better than Cold Steel 2. That's crazy.
Guys, this is Cold Steel. We're talking about Persona right now.
I know.
Let's do this.
We like Cold Steel, Maddie, all right?
I do too. But we're talking about Persona.
I want not Maddie. Let's go with Ben first.
Yeah.
What do you think is better? Which did you enjoy more, P4 or P5?
I enjoyed P5 more, just because I liked that I felt like Persona 5 was with Persona 4 is you could definitely argue that Persona 4 deals with mature themes, but when you're dealing with the shadow versions of those characters, it's kind of like, all right, we have the moment where we reveal this dark thing, we address it, and we move on. I felt like some of the tougher stuff that they were dealing with, abuse by adults, being your true self to the world, resisting authority, I thought that stuff was a little bit more persistent in Persona 5, and I liked that better. In Shido, like I like how he was introduced at the beginning, like he's the one responsible for putting Joker in the situation, and how he's tied to a lot of these palaces that you're exploring in the final confrontation with him. So I liked all that stuff a lot, and I just think from a gameplay perspective, obviously Persona 5 is just much better. Those dungeons were more interesting. The confidant relationships were more useful in a practical sense. There was more stuff to do. The side activities were a little bit more involved, and so I think I love Persona 4. I do. I love it. But I just think Persona 5 is a better game overall.
Now
Maddie. Someone agrees with me. Thank you. Persona 5 also beat Persona 4 for me. Kind of basically exactly what you said. Confidants were very much more like interesting, involved, gave you a lot of stuff. I liked the main protagonist better. I will say Persona 4 had a better cast of characters. That is wholly true. But
main party.
Main party, yes. But just like you said with the themes and stuff, the story of Persona 5 just struck a chord with me, with kind of what I'm dealing with in my life right now. And I just felt like every time I came home, I could play Persona 5, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm kind of doing something, even though, in reality I'm not. But
man, I can't wait to steal my boss's heart.
That's not what I'm saying, Nick. I'm just saying that, some people are guided, I feel like are guided by distorted desires, and we could do with some Phantom Thieves in our lives.
Would be nice.
It would be nice. Just the story in general just struck something with me, and I liked it.
You guys can change the world. Just to think about it
just about thinking about it differently. Exactly. Persona can teach you a lot about life.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Is like Persona always has a good core, like moral code. It's the strength is in the bonds of your friends.
Yeah,
that's what it says in the beginning of the anime of Persona 4. Strength is in your bonds, and it's like that's true in real life. The more if you have good bonds, you're always gonna have
and
better life.
The game in general is just the play style, gameplay is better.
Oh yeah.
But I will say that Persona 4 did kind of, when I was playing it, because it was in high school, and it was when basically I always had a mask on. I never came out and be like, yeah, I'm a nerd, blah, blah, blah. Never. After I played Persona 4, I was more myself, basically. I reached out to the truth of my life.
It's getting kind of...
Seeking to seize on the whole moment.
Here.
Yeah. But Persona 5 beat it for me.
Taylor? I know you enjoy Persona.
Yeah, I mean, I really struggle with this. Like, I don't know, because Persona 4 is like a really special game in a lot of ways, because it was sort of, I had just moved back from South Korea. I wasn't really into games, and I was kind of rediscovering my love for games, and I was like replaying old JRPGs and stuff like this, and then I played Persona 4. I'm like, whoa, this is like crazy. I never played a game like this, and I never thought like anything could beat Final Fantasy VII for me. And yeah, just those characters and the relationships that you build with them, and like in a really weird way, for like specifically with me, and I guess with Nick in a way too. Like, we've had Erin Fitzgerald on this podcast before, who's voiced Chie, and I've met her in person before, so it's really, there's like an extra little personal touch to that in a weird way.
Well, she's also in Persona 5.
She is. That's
she
true.
Is in Persona 5. I couldn't believe it when I figured out who she was.
But it's like game wise, it's undeniable. Persona 5 is better. Like, dungeons are better. Like, combat is maybe my favorite. No, I will say is easily my favorite turn-based system now. It just feels snappy and fun and quick. It looks unbelievable, right? They're very stylish. I almost want to go back and replay 4 to really feel that I'm really as attached to that game as I feel like I am. But yeah, it's hard to deny, like, just gameplay wise, like as a game, like obviously 5 is superior in almost every way, but there's something about those characters in 4 that I can't let go of, right? I can't let something else go above them. So
gotta watch the anime again and see.
Yeah, the anime.
You need to watch the golden anime, damn it.
No.
I will say the anime definitely for Persona 4 is definitely amazing.
It adds something to it because it actually makes Yu Narukami a character, and he's like maybe the best character in that game or in that anime. Just like that very dry.
That's so good.
It's funny.
That's why I'm so looking forward to the Persona 5 anime, because I want to know what he's like. I know he's cocky, but I want to know how they're going to portray certain story moments. I want to know what he's going to act like. I want to see it.
My question is, what makes you think there's going to be an anime? Because there already was a one little episode prequel. So do you really think they're going to do?
Yes.
Why?
Why wouldn't they? I just know at the end of the little episode it says the Persona 5 animation project. So maybe there's one coming.
Because if there isn't, I'm gonna riot.
You're gonna riot?
I'm gonna riot.
What if they don't do an anime and they do?
Persona 4 anime was so successful, and if Persona,
was it?
Yeah, wasn't it?
I don't.
Pretty sure it was.
I don't know.
It's probably as successful as any other game anime out there. Which I don't know. It's successful to us because we all like it.
That's true.
I don't know if Ben likes it, but we all like it.
I'm not a big fan, and this is just me. I don't love watching anime of a game that I've played through. And maybe this is short-sighted of me to think, but it's like there's so many series that I do want to watch and so many games that I want to play. That doubling up like that, I don't know. It just doesn't. I always feel like I've seen a little bit of the Persona 4 anime, and I've seen a little bit of the Persona 4 Golden anime, and as I'm going through it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I already know this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many funny moments in that.
Okay, Nick.
What?
Choose.
What, me?
Persona 4, Persona 5.
As a gameplay and all, like as a game as a whole, Persona 5. I enjoy that. I enjoy Joker. I enjoy the relationships that I created, and it was just all around just like better than Persona 4. But it has to be the anime that's clouding this, because whenever I think of Persona 4, I think of all the scenes, and then I think of the anime scenes, and I combine them together, and it's like those are so funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, well, is it just the game? Like, I remember I was talking to Ben. He was asking me if I liked Persona 4 or Persona 5 before. And I was like, I don't know. It's like, is it fair to compare Golden to 5?
Because it had so much more work.
It had like 4 years to develop those characters more.
But I don't even know if, because I played the PS2 version, I still think it's good then. But yeah, that's a weird perspective to have because I didn't know Persona 5 existed back then and stuff like that. So yeah.
So yeah, Persona 5, I like it more. It's more snappy. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Cold Steel 2.
Nice. Way to stick by your decisions, Nick.
Okay, I know this is a Persona thing, but I really I'm trying to really wrap my head around how you guys could find Cold Steel 2 a better game because
I did.
5 is in every way like character. Well, I haven't played 2, but if the characters and the presentation doesn't get any better, which I'm assuming it doesn't get that much better. Like 5 just looks better. The characters are way more well realized. The combat's better. Like I don't understand what you guys see in Cold Steel.
Why are you lumping me in with Nick?
Oh, okay.
Because Persona 4 beat Cold Steel for me, and Persona 5 beat Persona 4.
Okay, well, I'm talking to Nick then.
I can't because I'm going to spoil stuff for you.
Oh my god, always this. I'm going to spoil everything. You can't even smell the game cartridges because you'll spoil it.
Now to be on Nick's side, that's true. If he says anything about Cold Steel 2, it spoils it.
Yeah, if I talk about it, if I give you my reasons why I really enjoy Cold Steel 2, I will spoil
give it in generalities, like character moments or like how the story develops.
Okay, so in Cold Steel 2, you have your relationships now, right?
That have been established in another game.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. Your bonding events go even farther than that. You could actually get into a romantic relationship with the person you
which
choose.
you couldn't in 1.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of like hint at it,
but it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. This one, it actually does happen.
Okay.
It's but the thing I like about Cold Steel 2 is that your relationship in Persona 5 doesn't affect the story at all. Mm-hmm. In Cold Steel, it definitely affected the story.
Really? Okay.
In like not like a crazy way. Just it actually affects the story. Like different story scenes play out differently and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's what I like how they did that for Cold Steel 2. A lot of gameplay stuff because I know that you and Ben haven't played Cold Steel 2 yet.
So I know what gameplay stuff he's talking about though. Yeah.
I don't know if Ben's even beat Cold Steel 1 yet, so I can't talk about that.
I have not, no.
Yeah, so you guys have to still beat it. Mm-hmm. But there's gameplay elements that are introduced in Cold Steel 2 that are just like, you would know why I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome. I like Rin as a character because he's not a blank slate. That's one of the things that kind of lowers Persona for me because you're
always a blank slate.
You're always a blank slate. Rin has a personality that I really enjoy.
And that's why I like Joker better than Yu Narukami as in just Persona the game. Because Yu is a blank slate, whereas Joker has that backstory. He has a reason. He has, he has that kind of slight character build up to who he is that just makes you want to continue more,
It does seem like they definitely took a considerable step forward making the main character Persona 5 more of a character. I wonder if in Persona 6, if that ever happens, if they'll just go all the way.
Just make it not a silent protagonist.
Considering the evolution, yeah.
Make it like Rin where you can make decisions and stuff like that. But
I wouldn't mind it. Just making a character. Because for Joker, I looked up the manga name and named him his character, right? Like, I made him his character already, so I don't really follow the silent protagonist thing as is.
Yeah. Well, come on. Look at Cold Steel 3 screenshots, and it looks like Persona 5, all right?
It does. But Persona 5 still, that story just hit me, and...
Persona stories are hard-hitting.
Yeah.
Really hard. This hits you right in the feels.
Yeah, I'm really hoping, like what Ben just said, if there is a Persona 6, because the core team of Persona 5 is now working on that, whatever their side fantasy game on a new studio. So I'm like, is the core P studio? Have they built up some I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like some people that know what to do with the series now? Because like the guy has started from 3 to 5. That has been the same director, Katsuro Hashino. He's been the guy. He's helmed Persona, since they started Social Links, and now it's like, okay, can they hand it off to somebody else, and can continue to be good, and hopefully we won't have to wait almost 10 years for a sequel.
Yeah, wasn't it taking so long because they're trying to build a new engine for the PS3, and then the PS4 came out?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe they could just reuse the PS4 like they did with Persona 4, which is just...
I would love that. Like, if it just looks the same with new characters and new things you do, like, bring it on. Yeah, I'm fine with that, especially if we get one quicker.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Persona
6. That sounds so weird right now.
And it's going to be green.
That's what I'm thinking. Green or orange. I've always had orange in my head for some reason.
Orange is a good color. I feel like that would be a good Persona color.
Green, yeah, green as well.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. Taylor, go join them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I give you a color.
Hire me. So, we live in a world now that Persona 5
is out and is done with.
Yeah, exactly. We live in a post-Persona 5
I'm
world.
honestly hanging on to an anime announcement or something. Like, that's keeping me going right now. Or figures. Or more figures, yes. Already pre-ordered the Joker figure.
What are you guys going to do now? Like, how are you filling that void?
I mean, like I said, I'm going through Cold Steel. It's very much a B tier Persona, or as Michael Hebert likes to say, it's a swimming in sevens kind of game. It's not like gonna blow you away in any one department, but it's like really just solid, especially if you like JRPGs.
Let me ask you this, because I've been saying this for a while. We've been saying that after the third chapter it picks up. Has it?
It does, not as much as I was hoping it would. You still have very like, I lost my cat, go find my cat. I'm like okay.
That is a Trails of thing, all right? Yeah. You're going to have those side quests that don't mean anything. It just gives you extra stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, it goes like, it starts going up, and suddenly, kabam!
Let him make his own.
Well,
things.
So here's how Persona 5 has spoiled me is everything in that game gets to the point. Like battles,
we made his attention even worse.
Yeah, it's Persona's fault. And quick fun battles, like the story moments, it gets right to the point. There's no nonsense, and I'm probably repeating myself, but I don't want to repeat myself. But Cold Steel has a problem getting to the point sometimes. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Probably Cold Steel 1, and if you guys say the ending is as crazy as it is, I'll probably write into 2. But I really want to. I've been having this weird hankering to go back and play Final Fantasy Tactics for some reason. I haven't had a Tactics file in a couple of years, so I think after I'm done with Cold Steel, I might go back and play some Tactics.
What are you going to do, Maddie?
I think revisiting Tactics is always a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that game holds up so well. It just refuses to age badly.
No.
Can we actually teach Maddie how to play Tactics now?
Oh, we might have to do that.
I guess it's the time, huh?
Because the next game that we got to get is Ni no Kuni 2.
Whenever that comes out, yeah.
Deep down, I really want to fill the void by just playing the game again.
I did that, okay? Once I beat the game, I went to New Game Plus instantly, and I think I played for 5 hours straight, and I got to where you could do the Kushi.
Yes.
Well, they don't.
Okay.
People don't know. You know.
Sorry.
I get to the first palace, and I'm able to do whatever I want.
He also messed around and got the P4 costume, so he was running around as Yu Narukami, just, summoning
his
Izanagi.
And it has the Persona 4 music, right?
Yes, it does.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I have his Izanagi.
Yeah,
nice.
I know that feeling hit, that feeling hit me with Persona 4 as well. I immediately started a new game and started playing, but then it faded off as other games came in that I needed to play. I'd like to play this again, but if I can't right now, I'm kind of playing HOTS at night with my friends again, because Here's the Storm, if you guys don't know the acronym. And I don't know, if I had to play a new game, I'd maybe try Ni no Kuni, so I could know the second one. Trails of the Sky I want to get into, so I could actually get the third chapter and understand it, and then be able to play through Cold Steel again and get all those Berseria Zestiria moments.
Yep. Well, Ben could convince you into playing Trails of the Sky. He did that in the latest Frame Trap.
Should I play Trails of the Sky, Ben?
I really like Trails in the Sky. I'm still super early on in Trails in the Sky, but even the very little that I've played, I've been super impressed with it. I've just been... It's frustrating. All I want to do is just... I feel like I've enjoyed Cold Steel, but I haven't been able to finish it. I've enjoyed Trails in the Sky, but I haven't been able to play through it. That's all I want to do. I really wish I could just drop all the other work that I have and just play
games.
Those games. But I think I actually like Trails in the Sky better. Like I feel more motivated to play through Trails in the Sky and then second chapter and then the third game coming out than I do revisiting Cold Steel. I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know where you're at in Cold Steel, so if it's before the third chapter, that's probably why.
It might be before the third chapter. That might be why.
Yeah, it's because it's so methodic. Is that the word?
It has this
it's like bam, 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 and then it's like
way.
okay, it's it's cool stuff. You're getting to know people, and then the third is when like the story actually starts happening, and then it just ramps up from there.
It's like Zasteria and the Dragon.
Except Zasteria and the Dragon is that happens in like the end of the game.
I know.
But
P5.
Yeah, P5. You're playing. I'm playing Trails of the Sky second chapter. I'm on the 7th chapter.
7th chapter of the second chapter,
Yeah.
indeed.
Well, yeah. The second game, I'm on the 7th chapter. Apparently, I'm past how long it should be. I have like 77 hours in the game, and it's supposed to be only like 70 hours long. And I have like 20 hours left. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. But yeah, that game's really fun. If you like Trails of the Sky, then you'll love Trails of the Sky second chapter because it just ramps everything up, just like in Cold Steel 2. It's a weird. I don't know why Falcom does that.
Oh, Falcom.
They make the first they always make the first, and then there's always a cliffhanger, and the second is awesome. And then after second chapter, I'm probably gonna play the third because that comes out in May.
May 8th, I think, right?
Yeah, really soon.
Jeez.
So I'm gonna play that, and I don't know what else after that. I really want to. I have a hankering to play Persona 4 again, but I definitely need to start checking off the backlog.
Do it.
Yeah, or do some New Game Pluses. Maybe New Game Plus Tales of Destiny remake.
Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
beat that game like a million times.
It's the remake. I've beat it
people
twice.
need to play Ni no Kuni. You need to play Ni no Kuni.
I do need to play Ni no Kuni, but
Yeah.
I want to play Tales of Destiny again.
Well, currently I'm still mourning Persona 5, so I don't think I'm going to start a game for maybe another week.
See, what I did is I played some MechWarrior,
That's basically what I'm doing.
and that helped.
Yeah.
So you got to play Heroes of Storm and then work on the JRPG.
Yeah. That's what I plan on doing.
And then Ben, did you mention what you're going to dive into next? Do you have a review?
Well, we finished it like a month ago.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what I am like working on that's keeping me occupied, or do you want to know what I'm doing for fun that is keeping my mind off of Persona 5?
I guess,
Different answers.
I guess like your JRPG mindset. I guess like your free time, more fun stuff.
Yeah. So my goal is to do. We're gonna call it a don't skip for. But I'm going to actually finish it before I write that script, and that's kind of like the passion project. That's the one I want to do.
What game? Because your
most.
mic cut out.
Trails in the Sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I feel like it keeps getting like sort of indefinitely delayed because like this week we had 2 different events that I went to, and then I'm working on a Dragon Quest Heroes 2 review, trying to get that up, and then of course just like the regular stuff, the frame traps, the easy animes, the tabletops, all that. Has really pushed back. I thought I would have the Trails in the Sky Don't Skip done by now, but I'm not even close.
I don't know how.
It's a long game.
I don't know how you do it.
It's a long
man.
game.
I have trouble just doing this podcast.
Yeah, you do.
Well, that's also his
Well-
full-time job.
I know.
Yeah, that's also my full-time job. I don't know how you were doing it. You were like, I'm going to replay Persona 4. And I'm like, what?
Okay, so you play all these games. I've gone to the mindset where I only play one JRPG at a time. Like that's all I play, and then I play like side games like MechWarrior or Heroes
Side
of the
games that
Storm.
don't really have a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And then if there's a big game that I want, 'cause, like I got in this mindset when I was living with Taylor, and we didn't have as much money, so I had to pick and choose my games. And I was like, you know what? I really love JRPGs, and I love MechWarrior. If there's a JRPG with a giant mech, I'm gonna love it. So
Somehow you never got around to
You
playing
must really like Xenogears.
I have not played that yet.
Xenosaga.
I have not played that either.
You haven't played Xenogears or Xenosaga?
No.
Okay.
Or Xenoblade X.
Yeah, Connor.
None of the Xenos.
Sure.
Yeah, none of the Xenos. I don't like Xenos. I must be xenophobic. Connor's been. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said Connor's been bugging me to play Xenogears.
Yeah, that's like his favorite game ever. He like just raves about that game.
Mm-hmm. It looks interesting, so maybe.
Cool.
But
I think you should play through Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm going through it for the first time on stream, and it was one of those games where JRPGs, blah blah blah, and I played it a little bit. I had restarted it a few times and got a few hours in, but now that I'm much deeper, all those people were right. I feel like sometimes when you hear like, I don't know if people feel like about this with your recommendation of Trails of Cold Steel, where you just kind of hear it enough that you kind of grow numb to it. But
I mean,
yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is definitely fantastic, truly fantastic.
Taylor's that way. He's grown numb to it.
With the Cold Steel, like, literally, it was like almost like a daily, like, start Cold Steel yet?
Because you're on the, okay, I'm like, it's frustrating because you guys haven't beaten the first one, and I cannot talk about anything.
It's okay, Nick. You have me.
I know, but we've talked so much about it. I mean, our spoiler cast was 2 hours long.
That's true.
This is 3 hours long, but still. That was only for the first game. Imagine us talking about 2.
2 has so much more in it, yeah.
Exactly. It's that's the only bad thing about Falcom games is that you can't talk about them at all without giving anything away. At least the second ones, because they're like exact continuations of the first one. Annoying. But I remember I played Xenoblade Chronicles. I didn't like playing with a Wiimote. It felt weird.
Yeah, I've actually never played it with a Wiimote. I've only played it with a classic controller.
Yeah,
Wiimote's my jam.
I only had like a Wiimote felt weird. If I recall, I got to this place where I was in a cave. It's so vague, but I remember
I know what you're talking about.
I got into a cave, and I think like
were there spiders in the cave?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And then I stopped. I don't know why. I did that a lot at that time, but I want to play Xenoblade. I could play it on my Wii U.
It's like you were saying with Trails of Cold Steel and getting past Chapter 3. Like there's a lot for you to see. It does get you certainly get hooked at a certain point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how the great games work.
That's just I just love like Trails of the Sky did the same thing. It got really good at the end, and I was like, sweet. And
go right into the second one.
And then I went straight in the second one. But then, like, Tales of Berseria came out, and I had to beat that.
God, just reminded me of
and
that
then
game.
I started playing Trails of the Sky again, or second chapter again, and then Persona 5 came out, and I couldn't do that. So now I think I should beat it this weekend.
Nice.
I feel like I've been like pretty good about beating the games of 2016. I feel fairly up to date.
Yeah.
Berseria is one that slipped me by, though. That's like I want to get back to it, but I don't know when it's going to happen, especially since I'm trying to get through Trails in the Sky.
Yep.
The one game I really want to go back to, I feel like I've played all the games I wanted to and then some, but the one that keeps eluding me is Nier Automata, and it just everything about
that's the one that should not elude me.
I know like because I love platinum games, I love like JRPGs, and I played the demo and it like freaking blew me away. And I watched your review and it was very glowing, so I know I need to get around to it. And I almost wish I could have. I remember at this time when this happened, I'm like, should I get Gravity Rush 2 or Nier? Because they were not too far apart. Or maybe it was a different game. It was Horizon. That's what it was. It was either Horizon or Nier, and Horizon's amazing. But I wish I would have passed on Gravity Rush in retrospect and gotten Nier, because I didn't. Gravity Rush kind of let me down a little bit. But anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll continue.
I don't think Nier will let you down. I feel very confident about that.
Oh, if it's anything like the demo, I'm sure it won't.
So let's continue this conversation when we're not recording, because this is the Persona 5 SpoilerCast.
Going 3+ hours here.
And oh my gosh, I can't believe it's over. It was a great game, guys. I'm pretty sure you guys share my sentiment or my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
People, or if you're listening to this, you've obviously beat it, so never mind. But
if you haven't, you should still play it.
Even though we've ruined it.
We ruined it, but still play it.
Yeah.
God, it's so good.
But yeah, thanks for listening to us ramble about this game. Persona 5 is great, and we'll see you next time, our next SpoilerCast, which should be Cold Steel 2.
Woo!
Oh.
See ya!
Bye!
Where have you been? Been searching all along, confessing while and on and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I